G'day, mates. How's it going? I'm back. Oh, come here, dog. There's no you crap tons of gunk in your eye. You're all clean now, dog. You're all clean. This one. Boom. Okay. Um, useless cows playing WoW. Calm down. It's not that deep. To be honest, I haven't touched WoW in a while. It's only 26. I have no idea what I was doing. Uh, this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Yay, T-Tar, how's it going? I got this up. I don't know if you guys want to watch this. It goes for an hour. How Paimon's voice actor destroyed Genshin Impact forever. Or you can find something else. I don't know. Let the challenge journey can commence. Pretty much. I will make it to 60. It just might take me a very long time at this point. Considering that I haven't really been all that active. Still have Kura though. Meow. Uh, quests. Do I want to do quests, or do we want to do? Do we want to mine? What's this? What? I don't know what these are. Anyway, because like I have some stuff. Just trying to get my mining up. Do we want to mine, or do we want to level up? I don't know what's more important. What is our smelting's at 134, and our blacksmithing is at 122. What do you think? Should I do a poll? Let's do a poll. Uh, do you guys like the song that I chose for the start of stream? It was great. Um, we'll just put job levels, or just levels. There you go. Oh, bro, there's a dog hair that keeps going in my mouth every time I talk. I think it's poked into my microphone. There you go. Job levels or levels? You decide. What's everybody been up to? These days, good, bad, creamy, crunchy. Bro, now that song stuck in my head. Cowman? Cowbear. Map. What is this? Is that still the Okay, there's a bunch of other quests. I don't understand the level thing too, by the way. It's like we're like level 26, and I think I have a mission. Yeah, this one, level 21 plus. But when I tried it, the thing destroyed me. I'm like level 26. So like I don't get it. What level am I meant to be? Blue? What does blue mean? Oh, repeatable. Oh yeah, yeah, because there's Shen's empty keg. Yeah, yeah. Bro, something died. Um, we don't know if it died like because the possums get in our roof slash floor, right? So it's the roof for my brother, but it's the floor for me. Um, they get in between there, and we don't know if they died. It died in there, or if it died somewhere else. But bro, no matter where you go, like you could be at the front of the house and it stinks. You can be at the back of the house and it stinks. You can be inside the house and it stinks. It just stinks everywhere, and we don't know where it died, but something has died, and it fucking stinks. So I like those stories about Asmongold and how like he got woken up by a dead rat. Bro, I don't know how he lived with that for so long. Sure, it's a dead possum, not just your brother. Nah, it's not him. He came up yesterday and was talking to me. It's not him. But that's the other thing. We don't know if it's a possum or if it's a rat because the snakes have been active recently. So we don't know if like a snake has got in there because all the possums were in there, and now all the possums are like gone, which is odd. So we think like a snake got in there or something and scared all the possums away. Maybe? I don't know. But it fucking stinks, bro. It's so bad. Yeah, I don't know how Asmon lived with that for so long. Do you want to watch this? Do we want to see how Paimon's voice actor destroyed Genshin Impact forever? Bro, I played Genshin Impact twice. I played it, I think it was out for like a year, and then I played it. I didn't play it on stream, but I played it. And the reason I stopped, I just like Paimon's voice actor. I dislike Paimon. It's the reason I stopped playing Genshin Impact the first time. I could not stand Paimon. I fucking hated her. She was the worst character. If she wasn't in the game, I think I would have actually kept playing Genshin Impact. But because she was in the game, I was like, I fucking hate this game, and I stopped playing it. And then when was it? It was like a year ago now, I think. Someone asked me to play it. I was like, okay, I'll give it another try. So I did, and how many streams did I do? Maybe like two. I was already bored of it. Like two streams, I was like, this game isn't good. I don't know. I don't know why people liked it so much. But yeah, I've been seeing things about this her voice actor and how insufferable she is. So let's watch this.
Ruined a 268-day strike overnight. Man, I know I'll be mentioned in this video. I've been driving
What?
Karina Boatger fucking nuts. And bro, there's so many voice actors who hate my ass. You want to know why? Because I told the truth, and that sure makes them upset. Well, guess what, guys?
Let's go.
I said so many of the VAs were shit for so long, and once again, Techie was right.
Hey Benny, do you think we could take this thing on? Basilisk's Fang? Do you think I could take it on and win? I'm 26, Guru's 25. I can't remember the last time I tried it. I think I was 25 or 24, and I don't think I had Kuro yet. if you have enough buffs. Yeah, I don't think I can take it. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna go take it on. Fuck you. I'm gonna kill it. You can't stop me. Wait, where is it? No, it's up here, right? I'm going the wrong way. Pretty certain it's up. Yeah.
Another mask off moment. Are we really surprised, guys? I would love to know who the fuck have I been wrong
Video
about?
game actors are officially on strike over AI.
And it's great because so many times I call out so many people and then I see so many people in my comments say, I don't know. Techie's he's going a little bit overboard here. And then in 2-3 months they go, oh,
yeah, I'll get it.
Okay,
You watch. I'll kill it.
And that's not y'all's fault. That's okay. But once again, let's see what's going on. When Mugen covering this shit, you know it's crazy as fuck. Let's get into it.
On July 26, 2024, the biggest video game strike in history took place.
What did she do this time?
160,000 SAG-AFTRA union members were prevented from working on any video games from the publishers included in that strike.
Oh, yeah.
The reasoning behind...
Yeah. So I heard, like, she was carrying on about the SAG actor stuff or whatever for Genshin or something. But then Genshin or something wasn't in it. So, like, they didn't have to go on strike. They could continue working. But she got a bunch of them to stop working or something. But then I think she continued working. I don't remember the whole thing, but it was something like that, right? Like, she fucked over some voice actors pretty much because they got, like, sacked. Because it was like, well, you're not working. Have you been following the story, Benny? Am I right? Or am I, like, close? It's something like that, right? I just want to make sure. And then she's, like, been, like, complaining about YouTubers or something. No idea, to be honest. Okay. Well, I think that's what's been happening. Like, she's been trying to use the SAG actor strike thing for her own benefit when it has nothing to do with Genshin. Been quite a while for me. My knowledge is rusty. Okay. Oh, well, I think that's roughly what's been going on. And then recently she did that, like, video where she was hovering over a toilet and complaining about YouTubers or something. Like, fucking weirdo. To get sympathy, I guess? I assume that's why she was doing it. It was weird, bro.
Behind this was the fact that AI was going to take over their jobs unless they got the studios to agree to new contract terms protecting their performers. What many weren't expecting, though, is that after 8 months, the strike would produce no results, and players started to feel the impact. But even though that was the case, the majority was still on their side, fully and unconditionally hoping that they get the rights that they deserve. This is why it was so incredibly shocking to see...
Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Just shut the fuck up and talk for the game, boys, okay? We don't give a f if you're underpaid. Just do your job. I want to hear Paimon go ahead to Nandeo. Yep, just do your job, man.
All the progress of this strike
do your job or I'll do it.
Squandered in the span of just 1 week because of a few entitled voice actors specifically.
Oh what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what?
My precious.
This got so
it's
bad
a sleep
that the
paralysis
community
Jesus.
has now called for all of them to be replaced mid-strike, completely catching them by surprise. Even worse, this controversy opened up a can of worms and people started to look into the union itself, the one who organized this strike. This caused an incalculable amount of PR damage to the union as people started to find out its inconsistent, shady, and overall weird history so far. Questioning why voice actors and performers in general don't have a better union to represent them. And if that wasn't bad enough, one of the entitled Genshin voice actors that caused this mess posted an 8-minute rant in front of
Hey, sorry, guys. I'll admit, I kind of caused her to crash out. My bad, guys.
Of a toilet, complaining about all the harassment they've received.
Yeah, Corinna really doesn't like when I tell the truth, guys. She really don't like it.
While saying that they
a lot
could
of people
vomit
don't
at
like
any
it.
second. By the way, that voice actor voices the most important character in the entirety of Genshin Impact.
Yeah,
when
which
that's
is
the most important character in the game, I need you guys to ask yourself a question. Why the fuck are you playing it?
exactly.
Guys, this might be my most requested
It's
video.
the worst
of all
character
time.
in the entire
There are a
game.
few reasons for that, but it's mostly because while it is a crazy situation, it's also one of the most confusing. And seeing that this is
Oh, and don't worry, if you want more, I've made 14 videos on this topic, man. It's been an absolute cesspool.
Wait, am I going the wrong way?
retardation.
No, I'm
I
going the
love
wrong
it.
way.
It's definitely going to be an unforgettable part of the internet's history.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I went the
thought
wrong
it would
way.
be necessary to
I
talk
blame you,
about.
Benny.
So, without further ado, let's do this.
Let's get into
so
it.
to really understand what's been going on, we have to go back to the
God damn it.
absolute fundamentals. What the hell is a labor union anyway? Well, the definition is an organization formed by workers in a particular trade, industry, or company to improve
'Cause, like,
pay, benefits, and working conditions.
Here?
In other
No,
words,
that's
when you
the wrong
negotiate
way,
your
too.
salary, you're
What?
negotiating your worth. And as one person
course.
versus an entire corporation, the corporation clearly has the advantage over you. There's only so much.
It's like that one time
There's a
where
bunch of shit in there.
Diasti said,
Wait, hold on.
my worth is $0 for the glider event. And so Hoyer said, oh, okay.
Oh,
so we
yeah, it
can
is
play
that way.
Envy $0, which means, you know what? We'll go ahead and pay everybody $0. Yep. Hey, thanks, Envy. That was great.
You can ask for before they say, well, we'll just hire the 1,000 other applicants that wanted this job. The whole point of
Yeah.
a union is
Like,
negotiating as
what?
one body of workers versus negotiating individually. That way you can give the company actual consequences for refusing to negotiate, like not working and making them lose a lot of money in the process. That's what striking is, and it's a union's biggest weapon. Unions have actually been around for a long time, ever since the Industrial Revolution, so the 19th century. Many of
Voice
these new workers in
actors-
factories were coming from farms and more traditional crafts and were being
The voice
treated
actors
pretty
have
damn
a
badly
union?
by the factory owners. They
Because I thought SAG is like for actors, right? Does that include voice actors? Wouldn't voice actors have their own like separate thing? Because like their requirements would be different from normal actors, right? What the fuck am I looking at? What is that? What are they making? Are they just like pipes? What are they making? What a weird image. Yeah, like I thought SAG was for actors, not voice actors. I don't know. It was very weird.
would decide to group together and negotiate as one. But for the US specifically, most unions fell apart due to bad management, and at the same time, their rights weren't recognized. Unions were not protected in any way legally. This would all drastically change in the year of 1935 when the Wagner Act would be passed under President...
Oh, 1935, bro. That's when Ryuku-sensei was born. That was a great year.
Franklin Roosevelt. It guaranteed the right of private sector employees to organize...
They are about 5 angles off from getting a hate thread on Twitter.
...into trade unions and engage in collective bargaining. In other words, it gave them the right to negotiate as one body rather than individual workers. And it also, more importantly, gave them the right to strike. From that year onwards, unions started to become way more popular. You wouldn't see them just popping up for trades like construction or plumbing. No, they would literally be everywhere, even in entertainment. You would have a labor union by the name of the Screen Actors Guild, otherwise known as SAG, representing actors in Hollywood. And you would have another union, the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, otherwise known as AFTRA. They would represent everyone else in entertainment.
And together with the fusion dance, we become
AFTRA.
the most powerful
AFTRA is the one.
Anything from a radio talk show host to a stuntman. We'll get back to SAG and AFTRA in a bit, but for now, just know that this was the golden age for unions. But just like any golden age, it had to come to an end eventually. This paper by John Addison highlights the pros and cons of unions in America. And while they do have a lot of pros, one can't help but notice that once a union gets powerful enough, it has the potential under bad leadership to become the exact same thing it seeks to fight against, a monopoly. As unions started to become more popular and numerous, they would start to have rivalries. At the same time, we also see a new invention pop up, a union shop, a workplace that would only hire you if you were a part of its union. This concept wasn't very popular because not everyone wanted to join a union. They had their reasons. Some people didn't want to pay the agency fees associated with a union.
What's a monopoly? It's this really shitty board game. That's why nobody likes them.
These are fees typically taken monthly or yearly.
Do not
to keep
pass
the
go.
union
Do not collect
$100. Some others simply just wanted to retain their independence, being freelancers or contractors. But these union shops gave them no choice. And this must be very confusing to you if you're European. In France, for example, employees strike
Although for SAG-AFTRA, when you pass its monopoly, it says do not pass go unless you pay $4,000. So a little bit different.
Every week at this point, but only 10% of employees
Inflation.
are actually part of a union.
You know how
That's
it
because
goes.
in France, if a union successfully gets more rights, like, I don't know, 2 more days of parental leave a year,
Wait, do you have to
regardless if they're in a
pay
union
money
or
to
not,
be a
gets
part of
that
this?
benefit. So union shops were definitely counterintuitive. Additionally, what didn't help during the golden age was that some people realized that having a union full of thousands, maybe sometimes hundreds of thousands of employees under your command
That's
was
a lot of
very
dudes.
powerful. So you did have a couple of instances where crime syndicates would infiltrate unions to gain power and use that power to extort others. At some point, one of the biggest unions in the country, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, with over 1.3 million members, had their president, Jimmy Hoffa, effectively use the $2.2 billion pension fund that was meant for employees' retirement as his personal bank account. He would use it to invest in property, to bribe certain officials, whether politicians or mafia bosses, and Forbes called it the most abused, misused pension fund in America back in 1980. Just
Holy
like Uncle Ben
shit.
told Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. And some people chose to
Yeah, but he died, so who cares?
completely abuse that power. But the killing blow for unions, really the final nail in the coffin, actually came after giving them more rights. You see, the Wagner Act only gave private sector employees the ability to unionize. But in 1962, almost 30 years later, John Kennedy decided to make it possible for public sector employees to unionize as well. This
Yeah, but he died, so who cares?
meant that government employees
Everybody who spoke out against this is dead. Oh my
Wow.
God, chat. It's all connected, bro. Holy fuck.
were able to not only create unions,
Wait, I spoke out against it. Go.
but join them too. There was
Don't
one
worry,
very
5
important
months coming
condition
for
in
you.
this executive order, though, and that was you are forbidden to strike as a public sector employee. 19 years later, that rule would be broken under the most anti-union president in United States history,
Why are there
Ronald
babies
Reagan.
there?
In 1981, a union of air traffic controllers by the name of Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization organized a strike. 13,000 of its 17,500 members walked off the job. They all wanted a $10,000 a year pay raise, as well as a 4-day work week as opposed to a 5-day.
Hey, chat, I'm going on strike. Yep. And unless you guys give me 700 more subs, I'm not coming back. Yep. Sorry, guys. Yeah, your streamer's going on strike.
Work week.
I
And
want
finally,
better
a
working
full
conditions.
retirement after 20 years of work.
I'm going to
Air traffic
King.
Can I go on
controllers are
strike?
technically public sector employees.
I don't
Ronald
really want
Reagan gave them
anything.
4 days to get back to work or all be
It just
fired.
sounds like it'd be
Within
fun.
4 days,
Oh.
1/4
Am I allowed
of the
to?
striking employees came back. The
My
rest
daddy's on
were
strike?
all
What the fuck?
fired, which led to the
Uh-oh.
complete decimation of this union. After this incident, strike rates in the country would go down significantly, and unions
Atco?
would slowly but surely die out a slow, painful death. As it stands today, private sector unions are at their lowest in the last 50 years. And in most industries, unions are struggling to even keep their current members, except for one industry in particular, and that's entertainment. This brings us back to both SAG
Uh-oh.
and AFTRA, the two biggest unions for anything entertainment related. Seeing that they both practically own the entertainment world, they decided to merge in 2012 to really consolidate their
Merge.
position as the premier union for
Oh, they
anything
merged.
entertainment related. But that's not
Oh.
all. Ever since merging, they have been making bank, dude. From 2012, after merging, until 2022, they made over $1 billion in member dues and non-member fees.
What
As
are
if that
member
wasn't enough,
dues?
When a union that's supposed to fight corporations because they're greedy, because they make so much money.
What are member dues? Am I stupid? What does that mean? Non-member fees? What's it? What? Non-member? Why would they? What? Why would they charge people that aren't members? What are they charging them to do? What does this mean? Are member dues like money that the people that are members have to pay them? Shouldn't, like, you get paid after you've actually done something? And not, like, immediate? You know what I mean? Like, why are they paying you straight away when the results, like, nothing will happen for years, right? Because, like, if there's member dues, that means that people are probably paying membership stuff. Because didn't they say it was going on for 3 years? It means that they've been paying things for 3 years to be in this SAG thing with no result. And then by the end of it, are you going to end up better or worse? Like, you've just paid, what did they say before? 4 grand? So what's that, like 12 grand you've paid already? Are you gonna make any more money after this is all done? Probably not. Sounds like you've lost money because Genshin was like, okay, see ya. I don't understand.
He starts to make as much money as the corporations. You really got to ask yourself, why do you think that's happening?
Its membership climbed to
Because
record
people are
highs
stupid.
as other unions struggled to even exist. SAG-AFTRA was killing it with a record 171,000 active members paying their fees. I mean, look at these earnings. In 2022 alone, they made over $101 million in membership fees. How is that even possible?
Fuck, bro?
Well, it might have to do with the fact that in order to join them, you have to pay a $3,000 initiation
Oh, there it is.
fee. But
Jesus
that's only the
Christ.
beginning, because after joining, you have to pay over $236 a year, as well as 1.575% of any money you earn every year in order to stay in the union. Even by labor union standards, that's a lot.
Man, doesn't that sound so great, guys? Doesn't that sound so great?
So what do they offer in return? Well, they offer healthcare as well as pension/retirement plans like most unions.
If you make enough money. I believe you have to make $65,000 a year to unlock the health benefits.
Oh, they have deals and discounts as well as discount films. Okay, you know what? It's totally worth the price tag. But you want to know what's even better? After paying $3,000 to join, you only get health coverage if you meet applicable earnings thresholds.
There it is.
And you only get pension contributions when you're working SAG-AFTRA contracts only. Okay, that seems like the bare minimum. I don't know why this guy's staring at me the way he is. It's creeping me out. But hey, listen, the entire point of SAG-AFTRA is that they fight for you, right? That's what a union does. Collective bargaining. And that's what they claim to do. SAG-AFTRA is on your side when it comes to contracts, representatives, safety, diversity, you name it. So were they able to step up when actors and performers faced an existential threat? Maybe, but not for everyone. Picture yourself as a university student on November 2022. You have a dissertation to present next week, and ChatGPT just came out. This was revolutionary for any student. And while it was really cool to have an AI be able to write so much with such little prompts, things went from cool to concerning when Sora came out, capable of creating videos just from prompts. Immediately, there was a big concern, not just over all the things
what the fuck is that thing with the eyeballs?
But over the fact that greedy studio executives
ChatGPT, make a video of Tectone with the world's biggest penis. Yep, thanks. I know what I'm cranking to tonight.
We'll probably see this as an opportunity to cut even more costs from
I wouldn't want the
terrible
world's
Hollywood
biggest
movies.
penis.
And in 2023, that's
That'd just be
exactly
annoying.
what happened. A Marvel show by the name of Secret Invasion, meant for Disney Plus, used AI for its opening credits sequence. Only AI, nothing else, just AI. It looked terrible, and that got people panicking. This was barely 1 year after
I never watched
ChatGPT.
it.
Clearly
Did it look terrible?
but it was approved anyway. What else are studios willing to do now? This is when SAG-AFTRA and its biggest members decided to step up and fight for the average common actor's rights. In the summer of 2023, a vote was held over whether to strike or not, and the majority, more than 93% of SAG-AFTRA members, voted yes. So it was official. They were all ordered to strike, meaning that they couldn't work on any movies or series or even participate in any promotional material. And after 118 days of striking, they finally were able to reach a deal with the top studios in Hollywood for many different things, including compensation, residuals, and AI protection.
Wow.
There was only one small problem, though. This enormous victory, as SAG-AFTRA called it, only applied for people working in cinema or theater, or just Hollywood in general, but had nothing to do with the profession that is most vulnerable to the rise of artificial intelligence, voice acting.
Wait.
Yeah, you want to know why that is?
Calm down. I need to use my brain for a minute. What the fuck just happened? I'm going to assume that's meant for something. My dad just sent me a bunch of money. I'm assuming it's to pay a bill. But he hasn't told me what bill, so I'm just gonna guess. Never mind, I guessed correctly. It's all good. I'm a genius. You know what's really stupid, right? If you own like a house or whatever, right? you own like a house, right? And then you have to pay like rates and stuff like that. And the way they do it is they send you well, they don't for us anymore because I told them not to. But they'll send you like a like a letter in the mail, right? And then you take that to the post office, and then you pay it, whatever the bill is, right? That's how you do it. Or you can pay it online with the same piece of paper, right? But say it's $200, the bill, right? And you take it to the post office to pay that $200. The amount of money you pay at the post office is $200, right? But if you were to pay it online, the amount of money that you would pay is not $200. The amount of money you would pay is $201. They charge you $1 to pay for it online, right? But I've always thought that was really weird and stupid because they don't charge you an extra $1 to send you the letter. You think it would cost them more money to send you a physical letter, right? Because they have to pay for the paper, they have to pay for the ink, they have to pay to send the letter, like all that, right? We've told them to stop doing that and to like email. What's happening? Okay, that was weird. We've told them to like email us so they don't have to send the letter. Which is just like easier. Why is the spider not moving? Weird. But yeah, instead of them being like, oh, thanks for that, here, we'll take money off, $1 off, because we no longer have to send you a letter. No, instead they're just like, hey, you owe us an extra $1 because you want to pay it online. That costs us nothing. Like, it's no extra cost to them or anything. If anything, they save money. They charge you an extra $1 for doing it. Come here, fucker. Die.
Is because
so
I'll
dumb.
be real, and I really hate to say this. Do you know how easy it is to AI a voice? I'll be real. They can make Jay Schlatt sing fucking Christmas carols, and you can't even fucking tell the difference. Because AI and humans do cinema is going to be very difficult because there's so many ways it can go wrong. It's very hard to make an AI voice not sound good because it's literally just type this and then read it out loud like this. That's it. So like, I'll be real, like voice acting from humans it's going to be a relic of the past very, very, very soon. And so these people need to realize what they're going to do for work when they're pivoting out. Because when you say, oh man, like, but we need the money, we need jobs. First of all, the voice acting jobs are so fucking minimum, right? They are. And any job that can be replaced by AI to save other people time and effort on shit should be. And if people really want a good voice actor that's real, they're going to pay for it. But I don't really think that's going to be the fucking case. Yeah, like I can sit here and say that I feel bad.
What am I trying to kill?
Legit, it's just like, would you rather pay $240,000 to get some guy to voice your fucking video game, or would you rather pay $5 for a subscription to Chat GPT and just type out the lines? You know what I'm saying? Right? Because like the other thing is, it's not like the voice actors write their own shit. They just read off the paper. Right? That's why it's so easy to replace them. Because now instead of giving the actors the paper, now you just give the robots the paper. And it's the same shit, right? So like, it's really only a matter of time, to be completely honest.
Said that SAG-AFTRA represents everyone in entertainment. I meant it. They represent.
And here's the best thing: robots don't cry on Twitter. Yeah, it's really that easy.
And everyone, they're practically a monopoly. This includes anyone doing voiceover. We're talking voice actors for games, for anime, for just about anything.
Is that
Let's
it?
not forget that video games also have actors, singers, dancers, stunt actors, motion capture artists, and a bunch of different performers under SAG-AFTRA. So technically speaking, all of these people were left behind during that strike in 2023. This was a very big problem because these performers were paying the same fees and dues as Hollywood actors and were in an industry that is way more likely to use AI compared to Hollywood, as evidenced by recent developments. This has gotten so problematic that layoffs have been increasing while AI initiatives have been getting more and more funding. It's gotten so unbearable that game developers are getting so fed up with their bosses
shooting this guy through the tree.
Now, for a while, people didn't really take these warnings very seriously. I mean, who actually thinks that AI can replace real developers, right? Well, recently, we got a peek as to what the future could look like, and it's not looking good.
Have you seen Neurosama, bro? Ark
Survival Evolved released a trailer for an upcoming expansion. This is genuinely one
I'll
of the
be real,
worst
man.
things
If I
I've
can
ever seen.
AI myself GTA 6
bad. It
and save on the $100 price tag, I'm going to.
But that's not really going to be enough of a reason for developers not to use AI. And while yes, this looks terrible, and video generation still has a very...
It really don't look that bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. It honestly looks pretty damn decent. Like,
ooh, bro, that doesn't
take, this looks bad.
That thing's taking like no damage.
Long way to go before looking decent.
Oh,
voice-related AI tools are already worryingly very good. One quick Google search, and you can find many different websites, sometimes free, able to fully clone a voice, and the only thing they need is just a short audio clip of that person talking. Some of them are so good that the AI voice doesn't sound monotone, like it won't be talking like this.
Sure,
dude,
help.
I remember I got sent a video of me moaning into the microphone and
get him.
and I could not tell the difference. And then I realized, wait, that's just me. Fake story.
It'll be able to scream, sometimes even able to whisper, and sometimes even exhibit some form of emotion, depending on how good the audio sample you give it is. Many voice actors have been feeling existential for years now. Is this it? Are they even needed anymore now that AI has gotten so good? So seeing that SAG-AFTRA so heroically stood up to the dangers of AI for its actors in cinema.
I will say, I have been sent some crazy ass AI recordings of Mizkif saying some crazy ass shit.
What just happened?
It literally sounded identical. I'm not going to say
what
he said in those recordings, but man, I could not even tell the fucking difference. And man, that was stressful as shit.
I wasn't even getting hit.
It only made sense for them to do the same thing for its voice actors
and
motion capture artists when it came to video games, since they represented them too, right? Well, it took them a little while, but in the summer of 2024, they finally decided to go on strike for video game performers. The president said, "We're not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to use AI to the detriment of our members. Enough is enough. When these companies get serious about offering an agreement our members can live and work with, we will be here ready to negotiate." This strike is happening because after 2 years of negotiation, they couldn't reach an agreement with 10 video game studios in particular. The whole point of this strike is to not work for these companies in particular, and that is it. This isn't an industry-wide strike. It only affects Activision, Blindlight, Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts Productions, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, VoiceWorks Productions, and Warner Bros. Games. That's it. Under union rules, you cannot work for any of these companies, but no one is stopping you from working for any other company. SAG-AFTRA didn't really frame it that way, though. They said, "We're fighting for our survival," and they made it seem like they were striking.
Well, yeah, why would they do that? It makes them look bad. That's not really what people do. They just lie and pretend that they're the victim all the time. It's great. Which makes it really hard to actually voice your concerns when you are a victim, because then everybody will call you a victim. That's why I fucking hate people who pretend they're victims so much, like Maggie. It's fucking pathetic.
Striking over the entire industry. This strike affects roughly 2,600 SAG-AFTRA members. And as I mentioned earlier, this wasn't just about voice actors, it was also about motion capture artists, stunt performers, singers, dancers, and it even prohibited people from participating in camera tests, rehearsals, auditions. It was a complete embargo on video game work for these developers. And you know what? It was really hard to find anyone opposing the strike online.
Let me ask you guys a question, chat. Let me ask you guys a question. Let's say you could not tell the difference at all between AI and real voice actors.
Wait,
would you still want the real voice actors if it made production time faster by using AI? What? Genuine question. Wouldn't care, wouldn't care, wouldn't care, wouldn't give a shit, wouldn't care. You want to know why y'all don't care? Because you shouldn't care. As a consumer, if it makes no difference, you should always choose the cheapest fucking option. That's why when you go on Google, you find the service you want, and if the reviews are good, you will always get the cheaper service. There's no reason to pay more just to make somebody else feel good. You got to take care of number one, and that's y'all.
What's this?
It seemed like everyone was on these performers' sides. Yes, you deserve to be protected from AI. SAG-AFTRA claimed that the contract would also have better healthcare options and higher pay. Who would be opposed to that? People wanted to see them succeed. But we're in 2025 now, and after more than 200 days of striking, SAG-AFTRA says that they're nowhere near close in agreement with these affected studios, saying that the latest contracts proposed by them have alarming loopholes. SAG-AFTRA doubled down, saying that we have proposed a deal to these studios that includes wage increases of over 15% for SAG-AFTRA represented performers in video games, as well as enhanced health and safety protections and industry-leading terms of use for AI digital replicas in-game and additional compensation for the use of an actor's performance in other games. But here's the thing. If you're a gamer, there's a good chance that you had no idea that the strike was happening to begin with. So
and also all of these strikers are trying to take advantage of the fact that the Twitter's commonality is AI bad, AI bad, AI bad. As a guy who supported AI since day fucking one, by the way, that tide is slowly shifting when people realize how fucking hilarious and how innovative it is and how it's going to take our human generation to the next level. So they're on a clock, boys. They're on a clock.
Oh, what gives? The whole point of the strike is to delay the games currently in development by the studios that are affected. So since Take-Two is involved, for example, GTA 6 is probably experiencing some delays with voice acting. But since it hasn't come out yet, you as a consumer haven't really felt the strike in any way. Unless, for whatever reason, you played Genshin Impact. You see, even though Genshin Impact's development is not part of the strike in any way, it has always been a non-union project. It's never been a union project. A big part...
Bro. Over
67%
of English VAs are on strike. That's ridiculous.
I did it, Benny. Did you see that?
I am the mighty. And those voice actors have decided to strike the game. Unlike the other games being striked, this one is a live service game that has updates come out periodically with voiced quests. This means that ever since the strike, many of the patches coming out have had completely mute characters when you play with the English dub, and the players have been feeling it. So that's where things get kind of weird. In their FAQ section, they have this question here. I'm a SAG-AFTRA member, but I'm tempted to take a non-union job to make ends meet, like Genshin Impact. Why is that a bad thing? I'm just trying to earn a living. To which they answer, non-union work undercuts the union's ability to negotiate the best contracts possible for you. If non-union producers can hire the best in the business for next to nothing, they have no incentive to go union. Additionally, non-union work allows producers to pay less and avoid paying residuals and retirement benefits. It also subjects you to longer unpaid work hours and potentially hazardous working conditions. And when you work off the card and run into problems, the union can't help you because the project wasn't produced under the SAG-AFTRA contract. Working off the card not only contributes to the growth of non-union work, but it puts your membership in jeopardy.
They should just increase all the SAG-AFTRA workers' pays by paying them in primo gems. They should pay them in primo gems and in-game currency.
Let's just
that way everybody can be happy.
Under the union's Global Rule 1, members must work under contract. Consequences for working off the card range from fines to suspension to expulsion from the union. No, not only are you confused, I am too. How is it that the majority of voice actors on Genshin Impact, a non-union project, are SAG-AFTRA affiliated, which directly breaks this rule, but are also striking even though the game isn't part of the strike? It makes absolutely no sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? Around 6 months before the video game strike, SAG-AFTRA signed a deal with a voiceover studio for AI use in video games. This article from Variety says, the company sells AI voices to video game developers from its library of ethically licensed voices. Last year, the company announced a new iteration of smart NPCs, non-playable characters that could use OpenAI or other language models to interact with video game players. This deal pertains only to digital replicas, using AI to recreate the voice of a real performer, living or dead. This obviously divided the hell out of voice actors in SAG-AFTRA. It's like, what? Like, you just did a strike for actors for like over 100 days, and now you're signing this, and you haven't even covered video game actors yet? Weird. I think disappointment is the first word that comes to mind with both announcements. Amber Warnock Estrada, a video game journalist and aspiring voice actress.
So what we're getting from this is SAG is
money, buddy. You want to know why they want to cover more bigger celebrities? Because they're making more money than you. Yeah, that's why unions are shit. Because now they're the exact same thing as big business.
Like, what was the point of the strikes? Marcus Rothenberg, a full-time voice actor, echoed the same disappointment. The union didn't consult their members, Rothenberg said. I know people that had never heard anything about this until the deal went through. You know what else is interesting? For Genshin Impact specifically, Hoyoverse uses a studio established in the US by the name of Side. That means that they don't hire voice actors directly, they hire a studio that gets them actors on their behalf. Side also happens to have very strict AI protections in their contract. So what are the voice actors striking against exactly against Genshin? No one really knew, and no one really bothered to research. Look, this is the Genshin Impact subreddit, in which someone posted an update on the strikes.
The
Look at the top
results
comment.
may shock
Nice.
you.
Hopefully the negotiations
The more you
were
hear about
swift
this,
and
the
in
more you're like,
actors'
this is
favor.
so
Even though the game they were playing
stupid.
was practically voiceless, right? They saw the voice actors voicing some of their favorite characters go on strike for their rights against AI, and they supported them fully. If there was any frustration from the players, it was actually towards Hoyoverse. Why the hell don't they sign the contract? Why is it so hard for them to give voice actors the rights that they deserve and protection against AI? This was the attitude that most of the community was
What happened to
exhibiting,
questioning
and everyone
things?
was mostly hoping for a peaceful resolution.
Why does
no one
Until
question anything
people
anymore?
started getting fired. Zenless Zone Zero is a game made by the same
Like-
developer of Genshin Impact.
No, don't bring ZZZ into it. I like that one. No, I actually like that one. Wait, where the Wait, is that up? Yeah. Oh, never mind. Okay. Like, I heard that the Paimon chick, she made a video shitting on something or saying something stupid, and then everyone was like, no, you're wrong and you're an idiot. And then she said to everybody, tried to convince everybody that it was AI when it was posted to her main account, and it was a video of her, and everyone just believed her. I don't know. Give me that. Whatevs, bro. Is this better than my... Oh, there's nowhere near my axe, bro. What does it look like, though? Oh, it's just like a... Oh, it's like a sword. Oh. Wait, I wonder if I can... Can we, like... Hold on. Are you main hand? No, you're one hand. Right? So then what if I... Ooh, I can. Ooh, I didn't know that. I can do an axe and a sword. That's cool. Wait, what? Said what? What's happening? Let me... Okay. Okay. What? Why did it break? Huh? Why do you break? I look really weird like that. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Okay, now what mission do we want to do? It has to be something within our range, I think. What is this? It's 25. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Maybe. This is 21. Maybe we go do that? Let's go do this. Yeah, so like she said like it was AI or something, and then everybody just believed it. It was so stupid.
One of the characters in this game is Von Rickon. He's really fun to play and was definitely made to appeal to the very rich furries. Ever since release, his voice actor was Nicholas Thurkettle, and the community loved him. However, in early 2025, his dialogue in new patches would end up being unvoiced. You see, the strikes against Genshin Impact weren't the only ones. Every Hoyoverse game...
Pause.
I thought
God, I
Dog.
want Ellen Joe to look at me like that. Holy fuck, I'm weak.
I thought they'd get Dog to do it.
Zero. So people assumed Nicholas was just participating in the strikes like everyone else. But on March 12th, 2025, he tweeted this out, saying, Proxies, which is the name of the player in Zenless Zone Zero, I'm learning about this as you are and I share your shock. Neither...
I'm so sorry. If you refer to the player bases as rovers or travelers or proxies or... space baseball players, you're cringe as fuck, guys. I'm sorry.
Hoyoverse nor Sound Cadence, which is the studio that Hoyoverse hired specifically for Zenless Zone Zero, has communicated with me since October.
Lord.
I've been fully available and recorded multiple voice jobs in that time. I'm trying to learn more and absorb this news. On March
Like, imagine I go live and I call you guys the Eggies. Hell no, brother.
I'm not gonna lie.
Jesus, get a grip.
The wolf guy, I didn't really care too much about
as
him.
well as the community found out that he was recasted. Another voice actor had effectively replaced him as Von Lichaon, shocking the entire community. A bit over an hour later, another voice actress by the name
Hey, Eggies. What's going on, guys? Let me tell you why SAG-AFTRA sucks. Make sure to smash that like, comment, and subscribe, Eggies.
Emery Chase had this to say. Hey, proxies. I was...
Or better yet, yo, what up, Eggers? Yo, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video, boys.
Who's this one?
Love you, appreciate you.
Placed as Soldier 11, another character in Zenless Zone Zero, because I am unwilling to perform work not covered by a SAG interim agreement or
I like Soldier 11
protections, the outcome of which will determine the future of our industry. Any other theories that pop up are incorrect. I'd like to clarify that there's a difference between being struck and not being on an interim agreement. Union projects that began work prior to the strike and non-union projects are not struck, but they also do not offer the union-enforced AI rights we are fighting for. Many actors are choosing to voluntarily withhold work on these categories of projects because we feel it is the best way to support the union's fight for the protections that are critical to our continued ability to create the art we love. I knew that by withholding work, it was possible I'd be replaced. Though, of course, I hope they would choose to leave her silent until I was able to return. I found out the role was recast today alongside all of you. I loved working on Zenless Zone Zero and would have been thrilled to return to the project post-strike or with an interim agreement, but I stand by my choices regardless of the outcome.
Wait, what
all
the
my
fuck
best wishes to the
did that
cast
guy
and
just
production
give me?
team. Thank you for a great ride, proxies. So there you have it. Even though Hoyoverse is not part of the official SAG-AFTRA strike, Emery, as well as many other actors who are SAG-AFTRA and working for Hoyoverse, decided to strike independently from their union in solidarity with the actual strike. This was all in an effort to make Hoyoverse sign the agreement, even though they technically weren't part of the
Spoiler
actual
alert, it
strike.
didn't fucking
Nicholas
work.
Starkettle quote tweeted Emery's tweet
Yeah,
and said,
backfired.
"This is what I've been quiet about. I'm not SAG, but what game companies want to do with AI is an existential threat. I took a personal stand to ask for protection and had to be willing to give up the best thing that's ever happened in my professional life. I stand by my choice."
Oh, there it is.
But
Never
this
mind.
kind of didn't really make
Found
sense in regards
Oh,
to his
bro,
first
it's so far
tweet.
away.
Someone replied with, "So you were aware that they did reach out to you regarding returning to the role and you turned it down knowing you could potentially be recasted for this choice, and then went off to Twitter to say they never reached out to you since October?" Things weren't really making much sense, but
Yeah, things often won't make sense with the Genshin community figureheads say once you look into them for 3 fucking seconds. Unfortunately, a lot of the community's very young, so they don't bother doing that. And let me tell you, the figureheads sure take advantage of that.
Yeah, I never
I've said this like 30
considered
times in
that.
the past month. That is why so many people who
Wait, you
grow
being
up
attacked?
start watching me because they realize, oh wait, he was right.
But
maybe
at the same
that's why
time,
they
people
just
were still on the voice
believe
actor's
them
side. I mean, they were
no matter
claiming that they
what.
were fighting for their own existence.
Because
If they
the
don't do
players
this,
are so
AI will
young.
replace them fully. So they were excused for the sake of the bigger picture. These tweets made the actual studio, Sound Cadence, have to make some sort of a statement because a lot of theories were running
Sound
rampant.
Cadence?
This is what they
Sounds
had
like
to
a
say.
Maggie
From top to
situation.
bottom, Sound Cadence Studios is a community of artists. As concerns have been raised regarding how we work with our voice actors, we wanted to take this opportunity
So
to
many
clarify where we
fucking
stand and how
things
we
involved
operate.
in this.
Every
What?
contract at our studio features explicit AI protections regardless of union status. Much of our staff are actors themselves and could not, in good conscience, offer other performers work we would not be willing to take. The decision to recast talent on any project is not made lightly. While sometimes our hands are tied as to what we can communicate and when, we understand how personally actors take their roles, and always want to ensure that no one is ever blindsided. Our studio has and will continue to honor legacy casting on all projects we've inherited whenever possible, and always reach out to actors to reprise their roles before investigating any other options. We respect the decisions
Yeah,
of
you
all
know what's
actors
gonna
in
happen
navigating the
now?
ongoing strike and fully support SAG-AFTRA and its AI negotiations.
Now
passion of fan
the
communities
Genshin
for real
Impact
characters and the people who
game
bring
is
this
gonna,
is
like,
further evidence that real human
the
actors
company
matter.
or whatever is they're gonna figure out what studio whatever is involved with all these actors that are like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm going on strike, right? And they're gonna avoid that studio from now on. Because, like, why would you continue hiring people from that studio when this is what you have to put up with? So they'll just avoid them from now on, which means that the voice actors in that studio are going to get less work. On top of that, the ones that like did it, they don't look good. Like, this is what I was trying to explain to my nephew recently, right? He got a job not long ago. He works at McDonald's, but he constantly calls in like sick, or he'll call his friends that also work there and ask them to fill in shifts that he doesn't want to do, and then he'll ring his boss and be like, "Hey, I don't want to come in today, but my so and so, my friend that works there, is gonna come in." And the boss is like, okay, whatever. Like, as long as someone's coming in. And I was trying to explain to him that that does not look good, right? Like, it makes it look like you're a lazy piece of shit that doesn't want to work. And eventually your boss is going to be like, okay, I've had enough of this. This is bullshit. Like, see you later, right? And sack him. And his response was, if that happens, I'll just get another job. And I was like, that's not how it works. Like, you apply for another job, but you know what that job's going to ask you for? Your last job. So they can ring them and ask them what type of employee you are. And when they ring them, and that boss goes, oh yeah, he takes 6 days all the time and doesn't want to come in and he's lazy, and because apparently he said when he got in trouble at work because they asked him to do something and he said he didn't want to. And it's like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, and it's the same thing with this. They're doing this now. Other games are they're gonna look at the person, like they're gonna come in, they're gonna apply for a role, and the first thing that they do, like the Paimon voice actor, is they're gonna Google you to see what you've they're probably gonna Google you to see what roles you've done, but this shit's gonna come up, and they're gonna go, oh, okay, no, we don't want this person. Like what you've done in the past, it follows you. So if you act like a fuckwit and think like, oh, well, it's not going to affect any of my other stuff, of course it is. It's like the Rachel Zegler, right? She's another one. I think she fully has it in her brain that like what she's done with the Disney stuff is going to have no impact on her career going forward. Well, like people aren't going to look at that and go, well, I don't want to work with this crazy lady. It's just, it's mental. Like, I don't understand. It's like, maybe it's because I'm always thinking of like the future and what could happen. Maybe that's what it is. But bro, it's insane. Like, just take 2 seconds to be like, hey, maybe this thing that I'm doing could have a negative effect on my future. I don't get it. Crazy. People are nuts. Too many people now that just do things in the heat of the moment and don't think about
we'll continue to bring voices
the future at all.
Project in the most human way possible. Look, things became even more confusing with the statement because they said we'll always reach out to actors to reprise their roles before investigating any other options. But Nicholas claimed that he wasn't contacted for over 4 months. Additionally, Emery claims that she was doing this for AI protections, but they're already present in the Sound Cadence contract. She then specified that she only wants to work on a project that has an interim agreement, so a SAG-AFTRA contract. But she was working on this game before the strike, which meant that she was a union member working on a non-union project, which is against SAG-AFTRA's policies. Does a single thing here make sense? No. But again, it didn't matter. People were still siding with the voice actors because this was the voice actor fighting against evil corporations and AI.
Yep.
They were always given the benefit of the doubt. Until one day, all of the goodwill they had from all the community would come crashing down on their faces.
Is it Paimon?
Kinich is a Genshin Impact character available in its newest region. At some point, much like many other characters in Genshin Impact, his English dub would go silent, and people had correctly assumed that much like all the other actors, his actor was also on a SAG-AFTRA strike. But then, that voice actor, John Patnode, posted this statement on March 26th, 2025.
Here we go. It's
hey,
about
everyone,
to get good.
If you've been playing the latest 5.5 update in Genshin Impact and are hearing Kinich speak for the first time in 6 months, it's not my voice. I've been recast.
Oh, no.
I've been withholding voiceover services during the SAG-AFTRA interactive strike because Hoyoverse wouldn't offer AI protections in the form of a SAG interim agreement. They'd kept my character's dialogue silent for months, all the while I had made the difficult decision to continue not going in until an interim agreement was signed, and this was ultimately why I was recast. Now, obviously, a recast is not what I wanted. I'd hoped that any progress behind the scenes would be made and I would come back safely, or that if recast auditions went out, my colleagues wouldn't read for them. Unfortunately, I was wrong. I absolutely adored playing Kinnage. Genshin was my comfort game during the early parts of the pandemic, and it was a dream of mine to book a playable character. At the time, I didn't have an agent, didn't live in LA, or had any connections that would get me close. But 4 years later, I did it, and the messages I've received from you all saying how much my performance as Kinnage meant to you made my heart swell. I would and can return if Hoyo invites me back and...
What's an agent's job? Is it an agent's job to, like, get you roles? And then, like, set it up for you and that? So you can go do, like, interviews and... Like, what are... Not interview... Yeah, like, interviews, I guess, is the word for it. But, like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I can't think of the word. But anyway, isn't that what an agent's for? But from what we've been hearing, isn't that what SAG does? SAG gets you roles? So then why would you need an agent at that point, right? Like, this whole situation is so confusing. Because, like, if I had an agent, and I was a voice actor, there's no way I'd do SAG. Like, what? Especially since, like, you have to hit a fucking pay threshold to even get any of the things that you would want out of it, right? This, like, it's like a spider web of stupidity, right? A stew of stupid. That's what it is. It's the stew of stupidity. Where you just chuck multiple things into the stew. You're like, this might work. Yep, this might work. And you just keep chucking things in until it's just this big stew of stupidity. It makes absolutely fucking zero sense. Wait, I don't need that. Yeah. I don't need that. What's this? Oh, that's the thing I have to... Yeah, gotcha. Is there a bank? Yeah. Are you a bank? What are you? No, you're an inn. Never mind. Yeah, this way. It's so dumb. Hurts my brain.
Signs an interim. I stand by my choices regardless of the outcome. Also, the strike is still ongoing. Please don't believe this information on the internet. My best wishes to the cast and the production team. Thank you for everything, JP. This came as an absolute shock to the entire community. Because here, there wasn't some weird conflicting story. This was John saying, hey guys, I'm striking, and I was directly recast because of that strike. Genshin is also a bigger game than Zenless Zone Zero, so of course, the stakes were higher. I also want to point out that getting an English dub role in Genshin Impact is actually a huge deal. Due to the massive popularity that this game gained during the pandemic, they were one of the main beneficiaries of its popularity.
Oh yeah, and not only does getting a voice acting role give you tons of money by voicing for the game, but it also boosts your Twitter clout and your stream clout immensely. If people think that people know that you're the voice of their favorite character, there's so many parasocials that think that you are the character, and you'll immediately get not only a voice acting role, but a streaming career just because of that. So these are very sought after roles, if not the most sought after video game voice role in probably the past 20 years, if not in all time.
This allowed them to grow their social media followings substantially, allowing them to land more roles. It was a major stepping stone in the industry. So getting a role here, as well as losing it, is a very big deal. But typically, when someone gets recasted in a controversial way, like with what happened with Emery, the replacement keeps it secret, at least for a while. This time, though, it wasn't silent at all, and it created total chaos. On the same day, the voice actor Jacob Takanashi would post this on Twitter, saying, "Role announcement. I'm honored to join the English cast of Genshin Impact as the voice of Kinnage. Taking up the mantle of Malipo is a privilege, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to carry the flame from the previous flamebearer, John, who did an incredible job. Those are big shoes to fill, and I promise to give it my all out of respect for him, for Hoyoverse, and for you."
I don't understand. What's the issue?
And for helping me navigate the intricacies of this incredible game, and to Side Tokyo and Hoyoverse for the honor of bringing Kinnage to life. I'm deeply grateful for the privilege of entertaining you all. Now, yeah, you're probably expecting the Genshin community to be divided on this, with some some people completely shitting on Jacob and others supporting him. What no one was expecting, though, is that the voice actors themselves would join in on the shit show and publicly attack Jacob for taking on this role. There was only one voice actor with something positive to say. That was Nathan Noakes, saying, "Welcome to the team, Jacob." Every other voice actor in these replies had something negative to say about this. Here are some comments from many voice actors, not just for Genshin Impact. Like, there are many reasons why roles get recast. I personally draw the line.
Here, why don't we do this? I got him, bro. Justice for Jacob Takanashi. He'll just get shit on more? You think so? I guess we'll find out. I guess we find out, bro. I don't think so, man. I think it'll be fine. VAs, they're too horrified to interact with me regardless, man. Because they think that they interact me with that's exactly what I want, and the evil bald guy will win again. And so they're not going to say shit, bro. They think if they ignore me long enough that I'll go away. Yeah, that's just like not how it works. If you ignore me, you just become my punching bag, right? That's pretty much how it goes. Let me tell you, I got stamina for days. And if you don't believe me, ask your mother, because I was pounding her ass for fucking 3 hours last night.
Someone killed it.
Actors holding out because they're fighting for better work conditions. I have refused many auditions to take over roles from my peers because I never do that.
Brother, I played Arknights on stream for 2 years playing auto battle, and that was my
Are they
whole
mad
content.
because
I never get bored of monotony ever. I don't need an opponent. I will just beat your ass down.
Are they getting mad because they're trying to say like he stole it?
This was Jacob being publicly called out by a very well-renowned English dub voice actor.
When you fuck up, you're gonna know you fucked up.
Kaylee Mills, the voice actress behind Kaching and Genshin Impact, someone who greatly benefited from the explosion in popularity the game went through during the pandemic, had this to say: "This is actually kind of diabolical."
Hold on. Who are we looking at right now?
Another fellow actor.
Is it this one? Stephanie Shea?
This was Jacob.
Or does that say she voiced Orihime? And Hinata? Was she one of the ones shitting on them? Oh, why? Why you gotta
being publicly called
why
out?
Why are they gonna be douchebags?
When you fuck up, you're gonna know you fucked up.
Kaylee Mills, the voice actress behind Kaching and Genshin Impact, someone who greatly benefited from the explosion in popularity the game went through during the pandemic, had this to say:
that character's
"This is actually kind of diabolical. If you need the money, at least take the role uncredited. This just comes off as an easy grab for clout. It's not a good look." This is another Genshin voice actor replying with 3 thumbs down. And then you had the voice actor behind.
That's a damn shame, because I remember Valeria was actually kind of cool, but I guess they're just also
one
of
of the
most recognizable characters in the entirety of Genshin Impact, Paimon, who's literally.
Fuck you, Corinna, you suck.
How is it his fault that you didn't want to do your job? And the game studio was like, well, okay, you don't want to do the job that we want to pay you to do. We'll just get someone else. How's it his fault? Bro, it's like fucking high school bully culture. Wait, where'd that go? Would I just accept? Bring the new orders to... Oh... Are you joking? No. Do I have to go all the way back up? Oh. Oh. Fuck me, bro. Why? Are you the guy? No, you're not the guy. Are you the guy? Where can I fly? Is that where I want to go? Is this where I want to go? I'm here. I think this is where I want to go, right?
Fuck ass!
Really, the mascot of the game say this wasn't a passing of the torch. And even going as far to say that there is a huge difference when you take the role of an actor who is striking for AI protections. You are no castmate of mine. Now, these voice actors making these aggressive public statements probably thought that they were on top of the world, convinced that not only are they on the right side of history, but because they're on the right side of history, everything they say will be taken positively by the community. And you know what? Maybe in another world, it would have been the case. It just so happens, though, that they're using a platform that has something called community notes.
Oh,
and that's exactly what happened to
Did they get community noted?
Triggering one of the biggest reputational catastrophes you could ever imagine. It should be noted.
Corinna's crash out. The gift
Bro, I need to watch a video on
on
community notes. Community notes is so
yes,
good.
Sir. Please, we gotta have some Corinna in here. We gotta. Please, please. I need to see that video. Oh, it's in there. Yes. Oh, great, man.
Despite bullying another voice actor while using SAG-AFTRA as an excuse, Corinna themselves isn't on strike, even though they're American-based and the voice actor they're harassing isn't. Whoa, that's a lot to take in. People started taking a step back and thinking, wait, that's actually true. The strike has been ongoing for 8 months, and yet every single patch that comes out, Paimon is probably the only character that's still voiced. Corinna was starting to deal with an ever-growing backlash, but that didn't discourage other voice actors from tweeting passive-aggressive tweets towards Jacob. This would contribute to negatively impacting public perception even further. Here are some examples. This voice actor said, I normally try to be pretty professional on here, but if you don't like me speaking out against actors scabbing and taking striking actors' roles, kindly fuck off. I'm not going to be silenced just because you don't care about us getting ripped off and abused by these companies. A scab is a union term that Jacob was called multiple times by other voice actors. It means someone who doesn't strike and continues to work. The voice actors of Sucrose from Genshin as well as Venture from Overwatch had this to say. It's insane how entitled the gacha fanbase is, holy shit, keeping the characters hostage from us and hurting our experience. What? We're fighting for workers' rights. That's what a strike is all about. If this was the 1940s and we were striking, it would be based or some shit. I have no interest in arguing with people who'd rather see integrity replaced by scabs or AI. That's not what video games are all about. It's an art form comprised of so many beautiful artists doing their best, not about the money or fame or AI.
Yeah, you know what the game's about? Enjoying the game. And when the characters aren't voiced, it's harder to enjoy the game. And if you don't get that, it's not our fault you're out of touch. You know, I just want to, like, not read.
Yeah, like, what?
And so when the characters are voiced, then I don't have to read. So, like, maybe hopefully you can understand that your paycheck really ain't important to us. We just want to play the fucking game and not worry about the shit. Hopefully that helps.
But it's not just that, too. Like, from everything we've been hearing, Genshin isn't even a part of any of this SAG stuff. So they're probably just sitting there going, why are our voice actors just refusing to work? And being confused about it. So like, okay, well, we'll just hire someone who wants to work. So stupid, bro. So dumb.
I'm grateful that the projects I'm still working on offer humane protections and livable wages, and fan bases that aren't insane and appreciate real integral voices. Also, I know this isn't all gacha fans, but the replies to some of my fellows are horrendous. Some people pointed out that Jacob wasn't even in the US, he was based in Japan, saying, you guys outright attacked a voice actor for being a scab when he's Japan-based, and the strike and union don't even exist there. If you didn't know, SAG-AFTRA is American. If you're based outside the US, you can't join SAG-AFTRA. Here's what Valeria had to say. What's disgusting is y'all writing this hard for a scab. He's an English voice actor. He can still scab even if he's based in a different country. I don't know if anyone told you, but audio transcends borders. He knowingly took work from someone else. The voice actors for Hu Tao from
Man, this person does.
But like, why are they just saying that? Is it even legal for him to be in SAG? Because like from what that one person just said, it sounds like you have to be in America to be a part of SAG. Or like if you don't have to be in America, maybe you have to be American? Like, is there British voice actors that are a part of SAG? Like, probably not, right? Like, how does that work? Because if that's the case and he can't legally be a part of it, then what are you even? Everything you've said is completely irrelevant. You're just a piece of shit.
Doesn't care about what's going on in my country, bro. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Bro saw the opportunity to get a bag and he took it, and there's nothing wrong with that, bro. God, these people are so ignorant, man. It's so insane, and they are praying to God their fan base doesn't look into this. They are praying to God they don't look into this.
Genshin Impact, as well as some other big roles in anime, quote tweeted John's statement.
Oh, bro, this character makes me so weak. Oh my God, bro.
Who is it?
She's so fucking fine.
Oh, it's the.
She's so hot. Wiz is so fucking hot, bro.
Holy yeah, that's it. Wiz.
Sorry, guys. Just a little
big
pause.
booby lady
Quote
from.
Tweeted John's statement and said, "Thank you for standing strong and holding the line with us. You're a real one." And then replied with clear throat, some of us shaking my fucking head, referring to Jacob. This voice actor tweeted, "Say, are you Japanese or Japanese American, able to portray a 20s male character, can sing, have an excellent home studio? I've got a couple of colleagues in mind, but I would like to know more voice actors, except that one guy. Please DM me your website. Thank you." Of course, he was referring to Jacob. The voice actor for either the male main character of Genshin Impact had this to say,
what did he give me?
wow, on the day this happened. Now here's where the crisis really deepens for all these voice actors that made these public statements. Nathan Noakes, the only voice actor that was nice to Jacob when he announced his new role, said, right, I spoke to the new voice actor who lives and works in Japan, and he didn't even know what was going on. He came into an onslaught of criticism and didn't know anything about the strike or SAG.
Yeah, this is called a bunch of people riding the hate train for clout and for more money. Are we really surprised? Hell no. Wow, guys, the people who voice Genshin Impact are just as shitty as the players, man. I'm shocked.
SAG isn't in Japan.
Not all players, but you know the players I'm referring to.
Blows my mind. At that point, it was very hard to side with these voice actors that were dogpiling Jacob. The guy had no idea, and instead of reaching out to him, private messaging him, talking to him one-on-one personally, they chose to make a vicious example of him in public. As this was all going on, Corinna was too busy fighting a battle all alone, trying to prove to everyone that even though voicing a character like Paimon...
Yeah, it's funny. I had one of my mods. Their name was Ari.
Why aren't they...
They went to a convention to talk to Zach Aguilar, and she asked him...
Why isn't any of these actors, like, going after Corinna now? Because, like, I feel like it's been pretty much, like, proven that she's been being a scab. Like, exactly what they fucking were calling the Jacob guy, right? She literally is one. In their terms. So why aren't any of them going after her? It's because they like her? I don't understand.
How they felt about me, and he literally ducked his head down, looked left, looked right, and said, "We're not allowed to talk about him. I'm so sorry." Shit you not. I shit you not. Is that not fucking ridiculous?
During a strike, scabbing is justified, but not for Jacob, only for Corinna. This was Corinna's response to a fan pointing out the hypocrisy. No, you're right. I'm technically scabbing. I originally have this role, and technically I can still work this role. I am a disabled person,
right?
And this is the job that puts food on my table as I actually record this role year-round. But I didn't take this role from another person who is striking. I had this role, and I am stuck in it because I have no other way to pay for my medical bills.
So you can get another job
if
you're so righteous. Yeah, it's very easy.
But the point of the strike is to not...
down the street. What? Yeah, I hope that helps.
But yes, technically I am a scab, and you're right. I don't deserve any praise right now. I don't deserve any of it. I deserve to be told off just like this actor, so please do. No one should look up to me. I'm trapped and a coward because I continue this job, because if not, I end up homeless. I don't say that because I deserve sympathy. I don't. The ones sticking to the picket line deserve all of the praise, not me.
And why would you...
Paimon, love it. I have been through so much that you guys will never...
This is what's insane. You're admitting that you're a scab, and then... What the fuck is this? Is that a barrel of oil? What? She's admitting she's a scab and that people should shit on her for being a scab, right? Why would you go out of your way to shit on another person? Like, what is wrong with this? She have brain damage.
I truly understand, but I also know what I am. And
well, then maybe you should stop shitting on other people who are doing the same thing as you, you dumb fuck.
I should not
what
be given
the fuck?
Put your fries in the back. Put your fries in your bag, little pup.
Any applause for this. If I could feasibly stick the line with my fellow actors, I would. This job actually barely keeps me alive. But that doesn't mean that it makes it different. It is not a good thing to my fellow actor that I continue to work on this game. I have struggled with that since the strike started, so call me out for this. Please, I deserve it. If it means we get closer to making things better, then so be it. So Corinna was arguing...
Wow, she's such a hero. Oh, man.
That the reason why Paimon is still voiced in Genshin during a strike is that so they don't end up homeless? Isn't that why everyone works a job to begin with? I mean, isn't that...
Like,
I'm sorry, like, how does you being disabled have anything to do with this? So
oh, it doesn't. They just throw it around because it's a great buzzword that'll make people feel bad for them. It's legit just a sympathy for them. That's all it is.
Someone pointed out, so what? Many disabled people work remotely in other professions. Voice acting is not your only option if it puts you in such an unethical position. But you have to seek attention on Twitter.com like a 16-year-old and present yourself like a saint of the whole community. To which Corinna replies, I definitely don't present myself as a saint, but
yes, they do.
You don't know my disability and what I am able to do. This person said, I'm very convinced that he's voicing Paimon because while people are unhappy that characters they love are unvoiced, like 90% of the player base would actually fucking cheer if Paimon was fucking silent. That's so true. Look, if you haven't played Genshin, you have to understand. Paimon works as the mouthpiece of the main character.
That's
If
great.
she's
Yeah, I
not
fucking
voiced,
hate-
the game would actually be hurt beyond recognition. And to recast Corinna would be a nightmare because there are hundreds of thousands of lines to re-record from the beginning of the game until now. If anyone is going to convince Hoyoverse to sign this agreement, it would be Corinna striking. But there you are, the most important role is still being voiced during a strike. How can you take any of this seriously? This is like when players try to boycott Genshin by continuing to play the game every single day. Like, come on, dude. To be fair,
Yeah,
Paimon's
you
the
know
reason
what
I'm
real
not playing
boycott
the
looks
game.
Like on Genshin?
Like,
what this guy's doing. Don't touch the fucking game until it improves. And by the way, if you've seen that Malvika cutscene with the fucking DJ Cat girl where she's tweaking out on him for having to fix her motorcycle, you'll realize that game is in a shit fucking spot. And do not let anybody lie to you and tell you that it's good. That shit is trash, brother.
Corinna did receive backup from Kaching's voice actor,
Same thing with
Mills.
HSR, brother.
Unfortunately, though, this
When a
only
game
ended up
gets
making
bad,
them look
vote with
worse
your
because
wallet.
Kaylee
Quit the
was
game.
literally pocket watching Jacob's finances.
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
This is one small job for him, not his full-time work. It's Corinna's bread and
What?
butter. He's done very little voiceover work, so it isn't what he's relying on to pay the bills. For all we know, his wife's the breadwinner. Either way, they bought a house recently, so I doubt it was a necessary job for survival. I think it's
What?
safe to say that I'm not the only one who gets a bad taste in their mouth when they read something like this, right?
Yep.
Not to mention that
Weird
Kaylee
as
very
fuck.
conveniently
What are you
didn't mention
talking
that
about?
Jacob has children. He has a family to take
Weird
care
as
of.
fuck.
So how is it any different from her friend Corinna, who
Yeah, but Corinna has a disability. And
yeah, but
she
Corinna's my
flows
friend.
up,
That's
which
literally what it
means
is,
she's allowed
right?
to be the virtue signal or moral grandstand, the only motherfucker that should be praised in the voice acting community.
be homeless if it wasn't for Paimon's voice acting work? The fact that he bought a house? There's something called a mortgage. And regardless,
what
delving into
the
someone's
fuck?
personal finances like this is unprofessional in any
Weird.
industry.
So
period.
weird.
They were trying
Weird
their
as
hardest
fuck.
to paint Jacob as this supervillain. Some fans joined in on this too, failing miserably. Here's someone siding with the voice actors trying to paint Jacob as a liar that knew about the strikes even though he said that he didn't. Showing a tweet he had made in 2023 saying that if companies used AI for a commercial, then he's just going to assume that the product is subpar. That's because he believes that if they can't afford to pay for real authentic voice actors, then they also can't pay for quality assurance, research and development, and supply chains.
I'm gonna keep it a bug. This take is so stupid. If your company chooses to save money, it's because they're bad. Oh, okay. Oh, that's how that works? All right.
This was community noted, and the message is SAG-AFTRA video game strike didn't start until July of 2024, so unless he can time travel, it's impossible for him to have been talking about the SAG-AFTRA strike way before it even
Also
happened.
true.
Also, generally being against AI usage is not conducive to being proof of being aware that SAG-AFTRA is on strike.
True.
As time went on, Jacob was being loved more and more by the community, while the other voice actors that stood against him
Okay.
were being gradually hated. And
Well,
that's
that's
when they
good.
would try to play the victims. The voice actors for Hu Tao from
Here we
Genshin
go.
tweeted this out a couple days later, saying the harassment and bullying over the past day plus has been really unwarranted to say the least. Some of y'all need a lot of help, and now this pure evil. So Brianna unfortunately tragically lost her little sister at some point in time, and this is
Who?
someone emailing her with the username Brianna Dead Little Sister, saying that they hope that she rots in
What
hell.
the
Bear in mind, there's
fuck?
worse things in this email that I cannot show at all because of YouTube, but you get the point.
What
This
is
is
wrong
very,
with
very
people, bro?
inappropriate. The voice
Uh-oh.
actor June, who had made a tweet purposefully blacklisting Jacob from a role, said, genuinely, sincerely, I hope you find help. I really mean it. Troll behavior on Twitter is one thing, but sending direct emails is something else. It often points to a pain that's deeper inside the person. Whatever that may be, Kira, I hope you find help that heals that pain. And it's an email that says that he should end it all, but with more direct language. Also specifying that all
Oh,
other voice actors who
no.
also criticize Jacob should do the same thing. Corinna received
Hey guys, we did this really bad stuff, and now we're getting bad stuff sent to our email. Do you feel bad for us? No, not really.
the same exact email and said, guys, don't worry, my
No,
white blood
not
cells are
really.
already trying to do that. It's just a matter of time. Be patient. Hashtag
Yo, Chad,
autoimmune.
type one if you
Another
don't
voice
give a
actor would
fuck.
receive the same exact message, again from Kira. I don't know who Kira is, bro.
They got a wooey, scary email, and now they're shaking in their boots. Yeah, why don't y'all try having someone come to your fucking house or come to your dad's house and say that if this guy plays Genshin Impact again, we're gonna kill you. Yeah. Why don't y'all try that before you cry over someone typing KYS on Twitter?
But hey, you gotta chill. The
Get a
post
grip.
said, love the community. Someone named Koro Kira thought this was the appropriate thing to send me this afternoon. This prompted Jacob to quote tweet this tweet saying, hey, I know tensions are high, but don't fucking do this, Jesus. If you send death threats to anyone on my behalf, too far, man. Too far. Sorry you
Yeah,
had this
too
happen
far.
to Kiba. And now I'm seeing it wasn't just Kiba. Come on, guys, way too far. Suicide and death threats? No, just no, knock it off. Someone replied to Jacob's post saying, with respect, tensions would decrease significantly if you recognized and spoke publicly on the fact that voice actors aren't bullying you. If you truly didn't know about the strike, say so. If you did, say so. But voice actors are going to keep getting attacked until then. I shouldn't tell
What?
you that this was extremely controversial to say since it has 681 replies.
Yeah, what the fuck?
At
They
this
were
point,
bullying
It was
him.
very safe to say People were tired of any voice actor that had something bad to say about Jacob.
Yep.
Kiba, the same person that had received that email, had posted a reply on the initial Kinich post. Someone had said, "Can we collectively please stop harassing this man? The amount of unprofessionalism from voice actors under this post is just chilling. Why choose to bully someone you don't even know when you can let John and Jacob work this out on their own? Twitter warrior culture is disgusting." Kiba then said, "Please stop using the words bullying and harassment so freely. It is very obvious you don't fully understand why we are upset. It's called scabbing. End of story. It is bad regardless. If this were a different situation outside of a strike, which does affect everyone, it'd be different."
Fucker.
A couple days later,
So walk
Kiba
behind the
tweeted
thing.
this, "Getting followed just so people can shit on me is an encapsulation of how it feels to be a person of color and queer in this industry."
Oh, guys, they're only doing this because
Fuck
I'm
you.
black and gay. No, bro, they're doing this because you're retarded. Shut up, bro. Shut up. Nobody gives a fuck the color of your skin if you suck a couple dicks. Holy professional victim. This shit's insane.
To be honest, it's quite fascinating.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know what? You're
How many
absolutely
dicks
right.
do you have to
It's
suck
really
to be
happening.
considered
Your
gay?
skin color and your orientation. 100%. Obviously. Things were looking really bad, okay? The community that had supported these voice actors on their strike for months was now turning against them very violently and very quickly. This was the time to take a step back and reevaluate how to approach things, because clearly everyone was being harassed in some shape or form. But then SAG-AFTRA
Fuck you, robot.
decides to step in personally and make things 1,000 times worse,
What'd they
opening
do?
up a can of worms in regards to the entire strike and their role as a union.
Wait,
On
who?
March 26th, a voice actor by the name of Anaris on Twitter
Bro said gay and black. How many more debuffs does bro have? Well, he also plays Genshin Impact, so that's at least 3.
had this to say: "Hey, Genshin Impact,
Unlucky.
Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero, we English voice actors would love to get back to work.
Unlucky.
I know the fans miss hearing their favorite characters and we miss voicing them. Please negotiate with SAG-AFTRA and sign the interim agreement to have us come back." What no one was expecting, though, is that SAG-AFTRA would quote tweet this and say what Anaris said: "Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero," tagging all 3 of the biggest Hoyoverse games, right? And then saying, "We'll make it easy for you. Here's a link to our interactive/video game media agreements. Let's talk soon. Wink face emoji." Now look, this was a big deal, all right? SAG-AFTRA is negotiating with many studios behind closed doors, but this was the first time they publicly called out someone like this. It almost seemed like they were trying to use public pressure to make Hoyoverse resume talks with them. Now I'm sure whoever tweeted this out thought that they were a genius in the
Basketball,
moment, but guys, whoever's running this account has probably been fired, because this tweet alone has probably caused incalculable PR damage to SAG-AFTRA and this entire strike. Because on the next day, they got
Did he go die?
community noted, and it was
Ooh.
extremely significant.
Yeet.
Here's what it said: "This
Oh.
agreement has severe
Whee.
limitations on how Hoyoverse can work with non-union
I
voice
lived.
actors, including
That
a
was
lifetime
amazing.
time limit for the voice actor, and eventually forcing the voice actor to either join the union, which has large entry costs and fees, or stop working on the project."
Oh.
Linking SAG-AFTRA's own website twice as the source for these claims. The first link is what we already looked at, showing how much it costs to join, $3,000, and a bunch of other fees to stay in. The
Bruh.
second link
So
actually
stupid.
included the SAG-AFTRA Independent Interactive Localization Agreement. This is what SAG-AFTRA was presenting to studios.
Man, they Googled it. I hate when they Google it. Damn, it's super effective versus me, man. Damn.
In order for them to
Yeah, they
sign
hate
it.
it when people
It's
use their brain.
65 pages long. But what people were focusing on was Section 6 under Article 1, titled Union Security.
What
It
is this?
said,
This
"Employer
copper?
will only employ performers covered by this agreement who are members of SAG-AFTRA in good standing, or those who shall make application for membership on the 30th day following the beginning of employment, and thereafter maintain such membership in good standing as a condition of employment. Nothing in this agreement will be construed as preventing employer from hiring non-SAG-AFTRA members in accordance with the Taft-Hartley Act to perform in interactive programs." We'll get back to what this means later. But for now, they continue, "Employer shall pay to SAG-AFTRA as liquidated damages the sum of $500 for each breach by the employer of the provisions of this section. Any breach of this section is subject to arbitration. Each time the employer hires a performer in violation of this section, it shall be
Damn it, get
considered
out of my
a
way.
separate breach, irrespective of the number of days of employment. It is the employer's responsibility to ascertain if each performer is a member of SAG-AFTRA in good standing. Employer shall provide
Oh my God, that guy
SAG-AFTRA
dropped a
names
whole
of
bunch of
performers
shit.
to be used in the production of interactive material no later than the time of hiring or 48 hours in advance of the initial sessions, whichever is later."
ribbit.
SAG-AFTRA, making this tweet, thinking that they were going to publicly pressure Hoyoverse to talk with them, ended up backfiring because now people were reading the agreement in depth when they didn't even bother to do so before. As I already mentioned, they were in full support of voice actors and the
Correct.
strike because they thought
Ain't that crazy how people's opinions change once they're educated? Yeah, that's wild. Welcome to the Gaza community.
it was purely just about
You
AI
made people
rights.
use their
Yeah,
brains.
you know what? Maybe this document's fake and it's AI because it doesn't make me look good.
And after seeing this, they started not just questioning the strike and the voice actors themselves with their behavior, but SAG-AFTRA as a union. At the same time, the Chinese community of Genshin Impact caught wind of this, and they were just as confused as everyone else, with one user explaining in detail that Hoyoverse, as a Chinese company, was already under strict anti-AI rules in China. Article 1023 of the Civil Code explicitly protects voice rights by referencing the protections for portrait rights. Unauthorized use of a person's voice, including highly similar AI-generated voices, constitutes infringement. If an AI-synthesized voice has identifiable characteristics like tone, intonation, or speech patterns that can be linked to a specific individual, it may still be deemed a violation of personality rights even if the original recording was not directly used. This law even covers using voices in different languages. The same Chinese user argued that if Hoyoverse were to sign the SAG-AFTRA agreement, it would face trouble in China because you can't join different unions as a Chinese company. You're already part of the All-China Federation of Trade Unions. This left people with more questions than answers. But at the same time, some others pointed out that, well, this is not true because Marvel Rivals actually signed the interim agreement, even though it was a game developed by NetEase, which is a massive Chinese corporation. In this case, though, it turned out to be unique because NetEase weren't the only ones in this. They were obviously collaborating with Marvel, a massive American company. And since Marvel already employs a huge amount of SAG-AFTRA voice actors and performers, it only made sense that they would sign it, but not as NetEase, the Chinese entity. It was Marvel, the American entity that signed it on behalf of NetEase and developed the game for them. So SAG-AFTRA and the voice actors were making this out to be like, oh yeah, you can just sign it. Just sign the agreement, bro. It's very simple, but it's actually way more complex than they made it out to be. As confusion was running absolutely rampant, Koidao, the voice of Albedo in Genshin Impact, decided to use the huge following he garnered during Genshin's explosion during the pandemic to clear confusion about the strike. Around the time Von Lycaon and Soldier 11's voice actors were
I have not seen this.
Let go from Sal Cadence, he made a little thread clearing some things up, saying, if you're just learning about the video game strike, I want to clarify a key detail I've seen get distorted a lot. Generally, the developer decides whether to sign an interim agreement, not the recording studio. Often, the studio is only a middleman, they do not set this term. A recording studio may offer AI protections in its contract with the actor, but this ultimately means very little because the developer owns the final recordings, not the recording studio. They cannot dictate how the developer uses that audio. If the developer does violate the AI protection clauses in that contract, then the burden of enforcement would be on the actor. Often, that means one guy having to lawyer up against a multi-million/billion-dollar company. This is what we mean by enforceable AI protections, because while we are deeply grateful for any recording studio's personal support in the strike, the fact remains they do not have the power or resources to protect us or meaningfully enforce any AI clauses in their contracts. Currently, only a SAG interim agreement can effectively do that, as it would be backed by the union's legal resources and can meet any violation by a big company on the appropriate scale. That's why actors are holding the line and why outrage at a recording studio ain't it. So this did clarify a couple of things, why the interim agreement is so important, because it means that the union will back you up legally if problems arise. But on March 12th, when this post was made, people were already on the side of voice actors. When things started shifting, though, he made another post after SAG-AFTRA's disaster of a quote tweet, saying, taps the sign with incomprehensible force. Any video game can bring back their full voice cast immediately during the strike once they agree to enforceable AI protections via a SAG interim agreement, and the game can still keep its non-union actors after doing so. This is not a union actor versus non-union actor conflict. The goal of the strike is to ensure that this craft isn't lost to AI. We've got a common goal, which is why so many non-union actors are holding the line alongside their union castmates, despite having no obligation to do so. Non-union actors are among those getting recast across the industry right now because they were holding out for enforceable AI protections. They understood that without these protections, the job disappears for all voice actors, and I desperately don't want their sacrifices to be in vain. But again, this post's problem is that it doesn't answer the main questions. Why is it that the union security clause sounds so weird in the contract? Why does it seem like this is targeting non-union voice actors, forcing them to join after 30 days? Some people were starting to have doubts that this was very simple. Like this person saying, I'm just a dude on the internet, and it's not that I don't believe you, it's that I've been around on the internet to know nothing is that simple. There's always some bullshit you or whoever can't get into otherwise. Why isn't it being done already? Koi replies with, hey, fortunately, with regards to this specific matter, it is that simple. Agree to enforceable AI protections and the voice actors can return. Over 150 games so far have signed on to the interim and were able to bring back their casts. It's happening right in front of our eyes. But we saw it with our own eyes, right? How there's 65 pages to this contract and there's only 12 mentions of artificial intelligence. 12 on 65 pages. What are the other pages for? And why does it seem like non-union actors get screwed over with this deal? Someone asked, where's your source that they can still keep non-union actors? Every other agreement made suggests otherwise. Koi replies with, the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947 by law prohibits all labor unions, including SAG-AFTRA, from unilaterally barring non-union workers.
Sounds kind of sus, doesn't it?
If a production wants to keep/hire a non-union actor, all they have to do is fill out a one-page form.
Why did
for that actor.
people?
Well,
this person just needs to stop talking.
If all you had to do was just fill up one page and keep working as a non-union actor, then I guess signing this contract is as simple as Koi is saying, right? Unfortunately, though, people were right to doubt this. Nothing is ever that simple. And
here we go.
For you to understand that, you need to understand what the hell a Taft-Hartley Act even is. Look, after the Wagner Act in 1935, unions were not only allowed to exist legally.
Yeah, a lot of people want to throw out different terms and different acts that they know that you don't know what it is, and then act like everybody knows what it is, but in reality, they know it doesn't support their claim, but if they say it with enough conviction, they can probably get a person or two to believe it.
But they also gained a ridiculous amount of influence. After World War II, they organized countrywide strikes that severely hurt the economy. In 1945 alone, almost 400,000 workers from different industries striked, and in 1946, over 1 million from different industries striked as well. Not to mention that things like union shops were becoming too
By the way, if you guys are wondering when World War II is, it was from 1929 to 1934.
prevalent. The government was slowly becoming more and more anti-union. In 1947, they revised the Wagner Act with a Taft-Hartley Act. This made it illegal to have a union shop of any kind and prohibited certain types of strikes, like
costs like 4 to get
which is when unionized workers strike without the approval of their management. One of the most important aspects of this act was to give workers back some of the power that the unions had taken away from them. They could, for example, leave a union immediately without consequences. Before this act, they would have to give a 30-day notice, and if a strike was ongoing, they weren't allowed to work. But more importantly, this act allowed states to enact right-to-work laws. This gave workers the freedom to choose whether or not to join a
1939 through 1945. I was close.
union in their workplaces. Complete freedom. But you might be wondering, why is this necessary if union shops were made illegal?
Is that what he was talking about?
It gets a bit complicated. There are currently only 26 out of the 50 American states that have right-to-work laws. This means that I can join any industry without ever, and I mean ever, having to join any kind of union, period. But if a state has no right-to-work law, then they must follow the Taft-Hartley Act, which states that if you were to join an industry that has a union contract, you have to join that union after 30 days. Again, if you're European, you must be very confused right now. I am too.
We don't have any of this shit.
As you can clearly see on this map, California is not a right-to-work state. And according to SAG-AFTRA's own website, this is what the process looks like if you want to hire a non-union actor. First, you have to submit compliance documentation. The Taft-Hartley form is required by producers who intend to hire non-union actors under specific conditions. The form must explain why a non-union member should be hired over union talent. This can include actors having special skills, they are famous, have certain physical appearances, among other qualifications.
Don't worry, Donald Trump will say this.
Taft-Hartley form and decide whether the non-union actor meets the criteria to be eligible. 2. 30-day window. Once the non-union actor is approved to be hired under the Taft-Hartley form, they have 30 days to work on the union project without being required to join SAG-AFTRA. And then 3 talks about union eligibility. But one thing's for certain, when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, wait, this kind of just sounds like a union shop with extra steps. You're forced to join the union. Not to mention that this compliance documentation step makes things more complicated.
Yeah.
And seriously, reviewing every single form individually.
So, it sounds like you're forced to join the union, but also it sounds like if you're not a part of the union, they make it more difficult for companies to hire you. Because they would rather you hire the people in their union. So it sounds like. So fucking
and deciding on whether you can hire them or not.
Stupid.
You want to know what's even better? On SAG-AFTRA's own website, in their FAQ section about this, they have a question titled, "How long does it take to process a Taft-Hartley report?" Their answer is, "Due to the high volume of new media productions, please allow at least 6 to 8 weeks for principal Taft-Hartley reports to be processed." Please note, Taft-Hartley reports will not be processed until all final production paperwork has been submitted. This paperwork includes the cast clearance report.
Yeah, so in other words, they make it impossible for
and final cast list.
people that aren't in the union to get work.
Slowly but surely, you start to understand why Hoyoverse would not be interested in this. They're hiring studios with AI protections to find voice actors on their behalf. Why would you subject yourself to such bureaucracy? So if I tell you right now that more than 80% of voice acting gigs use a non-union contract, would you be really surprised? But technically, as a union member, you're not really allowed to work these non-union jobs. So what's the alternative? How do you avoid SAG-AFTRA's wrath? Well, you become something called FICOR. This means that you can work on non-union jobs even if a strike is ongoing. You still pay the dues every year to SAG-AFTRA, but you can't claim any of the benefits. As an added bonus, SAG-AFTRA actually calls you a scab if you're FICOR. Financial Corps members are viewed as scabs or anti-union by SAG-AFTRA members, directors, and writers, most of whom also belong.
So you lose if you do, you lose if you don't. Man, what a fun position to put everybody else who's not in the union in. Man, what a blast.
Entertainment unions. By the way, this entire page about FICOR on SAG-AFTRA is literally just begging you not to do it, okay? It's like, please, like you are losing this is the worst decision of your life. And you know why? That's because once you turn FICOR, you're essentially exiling yourself from SAG-AFTRA. It is extremely hard to join again. The more people kept digging about how SAG-AFTRA works, how the Taft-Hartley works, and how complex all these terms are, the more they became disgusted with SAG-AFTRA and the strike and the voice actors acting entitled on Twitter. Coy understood this and tried his best to answer these questions that people were asking all over social social media to the best of his ability. He does specify that a Taft Hartley can be extended 3 times, up to 90 days. He then answers a question that says, but it sounds like the Taft Hartley process can be
so much money. Wait, how much money do I have?
Here's a better idea. Why don't we just support independent voice actors and not need any of this shit? Yeah, that's my thought anyways.
Exhausted, and the actor will have to join eventually, to which Floyd confirms. Correct. Under normal circumstances, after the third 30-day period, the actor is required to join if they wish to continue working on union projects. However, with the ongoing strike, the SAG negotiating committee has publicly stated that they want to help non-union actors keep their jobs and eliminate whatever complications they can to that end. As such, they are able to negotiate a waiver for the must-join rule. This would be granted on a case-by-case basis, and the details of such a waiver would be determined in negotiations between the production and the SAG negotiating committee. The next question is, the production has to negotiate, so it's not a guarantee? I don't like that. To which Coit responds, bro, I promise they're not going to flip a coin to decide whether or not to grant the waiver. Negotiations are necessary, if only to make sure neither party is conditioning their commitment on some kind of loophole that undermines the other. And with the existential threat of AI, it is very much in the union's interest to grant these waivers wherever they can to get productions to agree to AI protections. So again, guys, this is all for AI. No matter what, this is all for AI protections. Even though it's only mentioned 12 times in the interim agreement, this is the true goal. One question says, I'm still not comfortable with this requirement to join. Sounds like a big organization bullying the little guy. To which Coy responds, I understand how this whole situation can give off that impression, and it's worsened by all the misinformation and anti-union propaganda out there. SAG-AFTRA is not a corporation. It is a non-profit labor union, albeit one comprised of very annoying theater kids, but a union nonetheless. Its sole purpose is to ensure the health and safety
they say non-profit,
protect them from exploitation, which, along with the health insurance plan,
but it made $1 billion profit. What are you talking about?
That's why there's a limit to the Taft Hartley process. If there were no requirement to join, nobody would join, and those protections would become financial.
Am I stupid? Okay, Simon, how's it going? How Paimon's voice actor destroyed Genshin Impact forever? He's explaining the SAG stuff and that SAG-AFTRA. But earlier he said that SAG-AFTRA gets like $1 billion. Or what was it? It was 100 and something million dollars it gets from its members. But then this person's trying to say it's a non-profit. But how is it non-profit if they've made 100 million in the last year? Like, what are you talking about? That's a profit.
Financially unsustainable. He ends this with a question that says, this is still a lot of maybes. Why should I believe you should be a union shill? To which he replies with, my dude, I totally understand that none of this is close to perfect, and I am not a union fanatic.
You like Genshin, don't you?
There are multiple documented instances of me publicly calling...
Yeah, he's not a union fanatic, but hey guys, I bet $500 he's in the union.
Out the union leadership, but if AI eliminates this job, then it won't matter how any voice actor feels about the union.
I just got a hunch.
Be a thing of the past. I want to make sure this job still exists in 5 to 10 years for all aspiring voice actors to have a shot at chasing the stream. And the union is the only sufficient.
Paimon's voice actress is like,
I know it sounds counterintuitive,
fucking
but making
idiot.
sure that non-union voice actors can still work is your main concern. You got to bet on the entity trying to save this art from extinction, not the one with the incentive to replace all actors with AI. Again, I know it's not perfect, but we can't wait for
the AI thing, right? SAG-AFTRA is, if you're a part of it, you can't work, right? Because they're trying to get protections for AI voicing and stuff. So like I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. So they're trying to get protections so that the companies in the games can't just use AI instead of hiring you and paying you money to continue voicing characters. But the issue is that Genshin Impact isn't one of the games that falls into SAG-AFTRA, right? SAG-AFTRA? I don't know how you pronounce it. Anyway, so certain games fall into it, right? That they're trying to get protections for. And Genshin isn't one of them. But all the Genshin voice actors have been not working and saying it's because of SAG-AFTRA and saying that they can't work because of it. But then it was proven that they can still work. They're just choosing not to, right? They're not being forced not to work. Because, like, if you are a part of SAG, right, you can't voice on the games that fall into the category, right? And they were trying to say that, where the fuck is my, they were trying to say that Genshin was one of them, but Genshin isn't one of them. Genshin doesn't fall under it, so they can continue working. They're just trying to use it as an excuse to get more money. I don't know. But it's all being brought to light that like they've just been lying. And then trying to get sympathy. Yeah. So like they can still work. And then because they got exposed, their next lie was that, oh no, but they're doing it and they can work, but they decided to be in solidarity for all the other actors that can't. They can't work. They decided to do solidarity and do it with them. Right? And Paimon's voice actor was one of the ones that shit on because they weren't working. Genshin then had to recast the voice actors, some of the voice actors, because they still need the voices, right? Because they're a game studio, they still need the voices. So they recast one of them, and everyone was shitting on him. All these voice actors were shitting on him for stealing, in their eyes, stealing the role from someone else. Because the other person refused to work because of the SAG thing, which was just fucking stupid. And then their argument was that guy, the guy who took the job didn't need the job or something because he's well off. It was fucking stupid, right? The whole thing was stupid. But one of the people that shit on him was Paimon's voice actress. And Paimon's voice actress still voices Paimon. Right? Even though, and she was shitting on him for stealing somebody else's work and carrying on about how he should, wait, where is Colpet? That one. And, was shitting on him, like, saying that he should also be with them and be, like, solidarity thing. Right? But meanwhile, she's still working and still getting money and doing exactly like what she's shitting on that guy for doing and calling him a scab. It was she's fucking stupid, man. And like now everybody, I think is it this one? No, it's not this one. Is it this one? This one. And now everybody's like seeing that she's a fucking idiot, right? And they're all like, oh, everyone's like, hold on a minute. You're a fucking idiot. And then that leads us to now, right? And they don't know how to shut up either. Like they just keep talking and making it worse. You know, over a toilet bowl. What? Oh, there's babies. What the fuck? Fuck off, babies. Die, babies.
For the perfect solution when AI is at the doorstep and already replacing human voice actors. It is significantly easier for actors to fix the imperfections of a
so yeah, it's pretty much like the
its members and rough support than it is for any one of us to individually dictate the actions of a multi-billion
idea of what's going on.
The studio has stricter AI protections, but we have to get our own lawyers. The non-union VAs need to understand contact law to get hired. If the company goes.
And the other thing I don't understand, right, is from what I've been hearing for this video, it sounds like SAG are the ones that get these voice actors their roles, right? But then these voice actors still have agents, which, in my understanding, the point of an agent is to get you roles and get you work, right? So I'm very confused on why you would need SAG if you have an agent. So it's the whole SAG thing is just like stupid. And then on top of that, like you don't get the benefits from SAG until you make like $60K a year or some shit.
union fuck them if they can't afford
stupid
a lawyer.
Like that.
True.
In other words, he says, TLDR, I'm not a huge fan of the union. They are a means to an end. So no matter how weird or counterintuitive
The likes are going down and the retweets are going up, guys. That's not a good sign.
if some of the contract might be, it's all justified because it's all about AI. And while I understand his viewpoint, it's not really the answer you're looking for when you're already doubting the entire strike and the union behind it. But Koi wasn't the only one trying to rally people back into joining this cause. Another Hoyoverse voice actor by the name of Kyle McCarley posted on the Genshin Impact subreddit a thread by the title SAG-AFTRA members seeking to clear up some confusion. The only problem is that, again, people were left with more questions than answers. It wasn't a very popular post. The top comment was wondering, why doesn't SAG-AFTRA just come out and make an official statement to clarify things and clear up confusion and misinformation for the general public instead of having voice actors as their mouthpieces and only wink wink nudge nudge at Hoyoverse on Twitter? This is a very good point. Why are voice actors having to do the union's job? Someone has pointed out the contradictory nature of this thread, where one of the bullet points said there is no requirement imposed by SAG-AFTRA for all performers hired on a union project to be union members. Such a requirement would in fact violate.
The whole thing is like
goes on to say once those 30 days have expired,
stupidity stew.
Honestly, at this point, not saying anything
would
have been
it's
better.
A stew of
Every
stupidity.
time a voice actor
It's like all these women who go on social media and they say, oh man, he did this. Oh man, he did that. Oh man, they did this. Oh my God, it was so bad. Why don't you just go on to the police?
Everyone just keeps chucking something into the stew,
right?
Making it more and more stupid.
Why are you going to Twitter to talk about all this shit rather than go to police? I wonder why that is.
How many eggs do you get?
Wouldn't be because if you go to the police to issue a false crime, that means that gets you in shit, does it? Wonder why that is. But there's a woman crying on the internet, guys. They must be telling the truth.
What the fuck would you come from?
They only ended up confusing people even more. People were starting to conclude that this entire strike was nothing more than a Trojan horse, disguised as an AI protection for voice.
Maybe it's because they're underneath
watching Solo Leveling
season
so 2.
They can't talk about a crime.
Yeah, Solo Leveling's great.
Wait a minute, guys.
But I will say, season 3, it's gonna be dope because I know what happens. There's if you thought Sun Jinwoo was like really cool, right? Gonna be in June, right? I don't know when it is. I haven't been keeping up. But if you thought he was like really cool, like the moment when he first kills a human, like that sort of thing, where it's like, oh bro, he's dope, right? You're gonna love season 3. There's like a big thing that happens in season 3, and bro, you finally like get to see Jinwoo mad. Bro, he gets mad. Like there's 2 major things that's happening soon. And I thought one of them. Oh, have I gotten all the eggs? Oh, I've gotten all the eggs. Yeah, I've gotten all the eggs. Oh, whoops. Yeah, one of them I thought would happen in this season because I couldn't remember. It happens around the same time as the Jeju Island raid. But I haven't read the manga in a very long time, so maybe it does, and they've changed it for the anime. But I'm pretty certain they happen around the exact same time. And then after that is when something even bigger happens. And it's fucking dope. Like, you underestimate how strong Jinwoo is at the moment. He does too. Like he knows he's strong, but he's still he still thinks he's not the strongest. But at the current time, right now, in the anime, I think he literally is the strongest. At this point, like he's the strongest person in the world. But as you saw, well, we probably haven't seen it yet, but there's other things that happen. He's not as strong as them. But he's definitely the strongest dude in the world at this point. But yeah, next season's gonna be crazy. I reckon everyone's gonna carry on about it. So they better do a good job on the animation. Because I can't wait for it. Have you finished season 2? Wait. I think it's up here. Because, yeah, something happens at the end of season 2. Like halfway through. Yeah. Well, you'll know when you get to it, the things I'm talking about that are stronger than Jinwoo. You when you see them, you'll probably definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, and you know what the hilarious thing is? You know the demon girl that everyone was like fangirling over? What's this? Oh, I don't need that. Yeah? She's gone. That's it. She's gone. You no longer see her, like ever. She's gone. That was it. Where? Nowhere. She lives in that demon realm where she is, but he never sees her again. She's just gone. Cause like, I don't think he can get back there. Cause you remember he uses a key to get there. But I think once he defeated the demon lord guy there, the key disappeared. So he can't get back. So yeah, she's just gone. Like that's it. That's why I remember when she came in because in the manga I was like, oh, I like this girl because it was the same thing. I was like, she's really cute. I like this chick. And then I remember reading it and like getting like near the end of the manga and being like, hold on a minute, we didn't see that fucking demon girl anymore. She's just gone. Okay. And then yeah, then when the anime came out, everyone was like, this chick hot as, and everyone was like fawning over her. I was like, oh, yeah, people are gonna like what happens with her.
Isn't there a thing called the Speak Out Act, which means you can't?
She doesn't die or anything. She just never comes back.
Can't use NDAs to cover up a crime. Oh, but that would have required a 3-second Google search.
It's hilarious.
Oh, so women just be making shit up, trying to get public favor when they know they lying. Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
Actors, but in reality, only had voice actors.
Season 3, right? So he makes his own guild, right? I don't know when he says that in season 2, but he season 1 start was a bummer after like 3 episodes. I quit for a while. Yeah, so just keep this in mind, Simon. If an anime starts slow, it's probably really good. Right? Because like the reason they start slow is to get like exposition out. But then after that is when it's like, oh, this shit's awesome, right? Because it's like the same thing with like Naruto, right? If you watch Naruto, you watch the first couple episodes of Naruto, you're like, it's kind of slowish, right? Because it's explaining the world and all that. But then you get to the Zabuza stuff, and you're like, this show's awesome. It's like that. Anything that starts slow, it's probably good. It's probably going to end up getting way better. But yeah, he makes his own guild, right? I'm trying to remember the name is. I think it's called like Arjun or something like that, or close to that. I think he only ever mentions his guild name like once or twice, but he makes his own guild, and he invites because apparently they need the guild master, and then I think they need at least 2 members, and I think the guild master is he makes the orange haired guy. I can't remember his name. He makes him the guild master, and then he's 1 member, but they need another member, right? I think they need at least 2 members to be, like satisfy the requirements. So he has to get another guild member, and he gets this chick that we haven't seen yet. That's friends with the red-haired guy. Bro, when she pops up in the anime, people are gonna lose their shit because she is also very hot. The guy from the start, the rich kid. Yeah. The rich kid. So the rich kid, this whole season, the rich kid wanted, he needed to do 20 raids, complete 20 raids, and something else. I can't remember what the other requirement was. So that's what him and Jinwoo have been doing. They've been going and completing 20 raids, just the 2 of them. But Jinwoo needed to level up. That's why he was doing it. And then once he met that requirement, he was then allowed to go and ask his father if he could take over his father's guild that his father was making. But then later on, Jinwoo tells him that he won't join his friend's father's guild. Instead, he wants to make his own. So then instead, the rich kid decides he's going to join Jinwoo and make their own guild. But because Jinwoo doesn't want to deal with all the paperwork and all that sort of shit, he makes the rich kid be the guild leader. Raptor horns and blue leaf tubers. Okay. What level are they? Blue leaf tubers is... Okay. What are raptor horns? The plot thickens? Yeah. Because, like, Jinwoo still wants to, like, just do Jinwoo things, right? What level is it? Oh, it's only 18. Oh, okay, I can do that. The game squirrel with a gun. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen clips of it. It looks hilarious. It looks fun. Oh, and you need to play it on stream? Maybe. I raved on, right? And it's made me sad. I raved on about the beginning after the end for in a bunch of streams, right? Because the manhwa for the beginning after the end is incredible, right? It's really good. I like mangas and manhwas where you see the character's progression to becoming strong. I like that, right? I don't like them just being like, oh, he's just strong now, right? I find that boring. I'd rather watch them struggle. So the beginning after the end was really good. But the anime, bro, they fucked it. I watched it, right? I think another episode came out. I haven't watched a new episode, but I watched the first 3 episodes. Apparently the first 3 episodes were made by this outsourced company, right? And every episode after that is going to be made by the actual studio that was supposed to do it. Apparently, I don't even know why, but the studio outsourced the first 3 episodes to some other fucking studio for some reason, which is just like stupid to me. Like, what? So I'm gonna watch the 4th episode and hope that maybe the studio that actually got the beginning after the end does a good job. But from what I've seen in the first 3, I don't know if they will. And a bunch of stuff happened, right? People were shitting on it on Twitter. I was like, whatever. I'll watch it anyway, and I'll make my own opinion. I watched it, the first episode, and I was like, that wasn't that bad, because like in the first episode, because like that's another one that starts slow. So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, it's just going to be a lot of talking. So like, there doesn't need to be action. Is that the name of the anime? Yeah. So it's called The Beginning After the End. And it's called that because like he's a king in one world, and then he dies and he gets reincarnated into another world. Right? But in his original world, he was used as like a soldier. He was used his entire life. He didn't actually like really have a say in much of what he did. Everyone just used him. So it's called The Beginning After the End because his life finally actually begins after he dies, if that makes sense. But the manhwa was really good. But the anime, bro, they shit the bed on the anime. Like, it's not great. What's this? Oh, 10. I didn't know 10 spawned here. What? Shield hero type thing? Well, yeah, it's an isekai, but like it's way different from Shield Hero. Like his original world that he was from, right? The way that it works is the strongest is the king, right? So the only way to become the king in that world is to be the strongest warrior, right? But at some point they started like making child soldiers, and that's what he was. They're like making them to make a strong king, because in that world the king doesn't really have any say in anything. The king is just a figurehead, because the way they see it is like, if you have a strong king, then the military and the army will be strong, right? Because everybody will want to fight for that king because he's so strong. So like there was other people that did political stuff and actually ran the country, but the king just all he did was go to war, right? And he sneeze. Oh, Jesus. So he was just used his entire life, his first life, right? And he didn't know what love felt like and like all that sort of stuff, because from his earliest memory, he was just being taught how to fight. Whereas when he died and reincarnated in this other world, he was reincarnated into like a loving family. So that's why it's like called The Beginning After the End, because like he's actually able to live now and actually like be a person. But yeah, the manhwa is really good. But the anime is like that's a nice story. Yeah. And like in the new world that he's in, right? He knows how to fight because he's like he was the strongest person in his original world, right? So he clearly knows how to fight. The issue is now he's in a child's body. So he knows in his brain he knows what to do. But because his body is different and it's smaller now because it's a child's body, he doesn't he like doesn't know how to fight again, right? He has to relearn how to fight with his new body. So you get to like watch him struggle in a unique way. It's very good, but yeah, they fucked it up. Because like I didn't care about the first episode that everyone was shitting on, because I was like, whatever, it's just a whole bunch of talking. Really? Even in the manhwa, it's just a bunch of talking. Because like it's just him reflecting on his past life and like coming to the conclusion that he's in like another world and all this sort of stuff. So it's just a bunch of like talking. So when everyone was like, "Oh, the animation was really bad," and it was just a bunch of still pictures, I was like, "Who cares?" It's like it's just talking. Who cares? Maybe they're just doing that so they can save money for when they actually have to animate fighting. But then I think it's episode 3. No, episode 2, I think. Yeah, I think it's like the end of episode 2. There is fighting. And it's very bad. Like very bad. So like, yeah, they wanted the name because they knew that getting like so they clearly saw solo leveling, right? And they were like, "Oh, everyone liked solo leveling because of the name." And that's what they must have thought. And they thought the same thing would happen with the beginning after the end. Not realizing that, you know, people would like their animation to look good. So they fucked up. Like they fucked up big time. But yeah, there's like people talking about like saying that they need to redo it. Which they're not going to. There's no way there's nothing anyone can do to make them fucking redo it. You. But yeah, we'll see if episode 4 is any better. But yeah, it made me sad when I got to like the episode where there was actually fighting, because I was like, oh, they just didn't care. It was very clear they didn't care. How many episodes do you think there will be? Well, if they've already made them, then 12. Because I assume they've probably already made them, because they outsourced the first 3 episodes. So the first 3 episodes were absolute dog shit. They got a different studio to do it, right? Which means that they then only have to do what, 10 episodes, 9 episodes, instead of actually animating 12. I didn't know anything about the studio at all beforehand. I think their name's like A-Cat or something like that. And I didn't look into the studio either, right? Just was like, oh, I'll see when it comes out. But apparently they're very well known for doing this type of stuff. They've done it before with a different anime. They outsourced to make it cheaper, and then apparently the animation's always bad. So when the anime studio was announced, everyone already didn't have high hopes. But if it was animated by like whatever studio did Solo Leveling, or like the one that did JJK and that, then it probably could have blew up. But once again, it's like that same thing. The first couple episodes would have been, well, they are, but no matter which studio did it, they would have had to be really slow, right? Because it's just a bunch of talking at the start. But then after that is when it like picks up. Bro, why are these raptors so hard to see?
Acting monopoly and mafia practices. But we're not even talking about the real issue yet. The real issue is the fact that this strike's weird contradictory nature made people
I love
want to
East
look
Guy.
more into SAG-AFTRA
East Guy
as an
stuff's
organization. And what people started finding out wasn't really proven.
When they do it right,
strike in 2023
it's really good.
SAG-AFTRA, this was meant to give people working in Hollywood more livable wages and, more importantly, AI protections. Well, it turned out that many people were disappointed with these so-called protections. This article from Prism said this: critics of the deal who spoke to Prism were most concerned about the sections on generative AI, which is used to create synthetic performers or digitally created assets that are not any specific human performer but generated entirely through AI. This is uncharted territory. SAG-AFTRA member, actor, and director Satu Runa in Los Angeles believes the union should have stood.
I was also like someone that when Mushoku Tensei anime got announced, I was one of the people who was like, "Oh, Mushoku Tensei is really good," right? Because I've been reading the that's Raptor. I've been reading the manga. But I think it comes from a light novel. And I didn't read the light novel. A lot of other people have. So I didn't know what happens later on. But bro, Mushoku Tensei, like later on, gets really weird. Like I've been watching some YouTubers like talk about it. Like ones that have like read the light novels and stuff. Bro, it gets strange. There's a whole lot of incest. Raptor.
Stood against its use, period, rather than trying to work with it. It's very easy to replace us with this technology, she said. We shouldn't normalize it. The protections also include some significant loopholes. For one, for AI involving the participation of human actors, Schedule F performers who make more than $80,000 for a film are exempted, and consent is not required from actors if the photography or soundtrack remains
like my dress up darling type thing? What do you mean?
Things are really heating up.
What do you mean? My dress up darling. Is that what I think it is? That doesn't have incest in it. What? My dress up darling. Is that the one with the... No, yeah, that is what I would think it is. Where is the incest in that? What are you talking about? Before this... Oh, okay. No, like, I'll just tell you, because I don't know if you'll watch it. So, Rudius, the main character, is very perverted, and everybody had an issue with how perverted he was when it came out. I didn't really care, right? To be honest, I just ignored that part because the rest of the story was good. But one of the characters, even in the first season, the redhead one, her name's Rias, I think. No, is it Rias? No, it's not. That's a different show. I can't remember what her name is. Anyway, she's his cousin, right? They end up sleeping together at the end of the end of the first season. I think it's the end of the first season. They sleep together, right? They're cousins. That was weird, right? They took each other's virginity. I pressed the wrong button. Anyway, they sleep together. Everyone's like, bro, that's fucking weird. Right? What season are we up to now? I think 3? No, 2? Do they show... No, they just show them kissing and stuff. And then they lay down the bed and then they get like pans away. I don't remember fully. Even in the manga they don't show it, right? But good. Well, I guess it's good they didn't show it, but at the same time it's still fucking weird. that they even had it in there in the first place, right? And you're like, oh well, it can't get any worse, right? No, it gets worse. It gets way worse. Apparently, in the light novels. So end of season 2, Rudius is having his first child with Sylphie, this elf girl that he fell in love with. That was in his like whatever. His what's the word I'm looking for? His town when he was young. Okay, let's just sit down for a minute so I can my brain work good. So he gets with her, he marries her, she gets pregnant. She's having their baby. While that's all happening, he goes off to save his mother with his father. His father dies while they save their mother. He saves his mother, but his father dies. While he's grieving with that, his teacher, who was his first love, takes the opportunity, because she's now in love with Rudius as well, now that he's like I think he's like 18 at this point. So he's like a man, and she sees him as a man now. So she fell in love with him. She takes the opportunity while he's grieving to sleep with him. Right? And she said it was to make him feel better, but really it was to make herself feel better. So that was weird, right? He then has to, all the way home, stress about telling his wife, who was pregnant and about to have a baby, about how he cheated on her. But then just before they get home, the elf chick that's in his party, who is technically the grandmother of the elf girl he married, convinces him that it's better if he convinces his current wife to let him marry the new girl, right? So when they get back, they then do that. So now he's going to marry the new girl, right? Later on, he then, this hasn't happened in the anime yet, but in the light novels this happens. The redheaded girl comes back, the one he slept with, his cousin, and he ends up marrying her too, right? So now he has 3 wives. But he gets all of them pregnant, right? He has kids with all of them. But what's the weirdest part is, he has 2 younger sisters, and I don't know if it's both or one of them, but I know for sure one of them falls in love with one of his sons. And they get together. So his sister falls in love with one of his sons. So that's auntie and nephew situation. So it keeps getting worse. What the fuck? Yeah. Right? But when I started reading this manga, it was only up to, like, we only just got up to, in the manga, to the point where his father dies. The latest chapter that's going to come out this month, his father dies. Whereas the anime is already past that. Right? So, like, I'm reading it, and the cousin thing happened. I was like, that was weird. But then the cousin, like, ditches him. And it gives him erectile dysfunction, which is hilarious. And you're like, okay, she's gone now. We don't have to deal with that. And I thought to myself, like, oh, he probably ended up marrying the redheaded girl, and that'll probably be the only bit of incest. But then, yeah, when I was watching these videos and they mentioned that, I was like, oh, there's more incest? Why? Why? Was the one bit of incest with cousins not bad enough? Now you've made it like a niece and a nephew? And I think the child that his sister gets with is the one that's being birthed now, or it's the next one. Because I think it's an elf. I think it's a half elf that she falls in love with. But bro, it's still fucking weird. It's the same thing with there was a romance manga that I really liked, and so isn't the baby under 18? Well, his sister is like, actually I don't know how old they are. Maybe 10 at the moment. And when they fall in love, they're of age, I think. I think the sister's like 20 something and the boy is like 16, 17, something like that. But you also got to remember too, in this world, because it's the same as every other fantasy world that happens, the age of an adult is 15. It happens all the time in like these fantasy mangas and stuff. They always set the age of like becoming an adult at as 15. Because I've read a shit ton of them. So like in the story's context, the boy was already an adult. It's like it's weird enough with the age gap, right? But it's even weirder the fact that that's his fucking auntie. That makes it worse. Hey, there was a manga I was reading, a romance one, and I was actually like getting into it. I was like, man, this is really good. And the plot twist that happened like not long ago, I stopped reading it after this. But the plot twist was that like the father, I should probably explain it. So is the entire story about him being a pervert? No, not the entire story. The entire story is like it's it's just a mixture of things. It's just one of his traits is that he's really perverted. But the pervertedness only applies to the chick that was his first love and her underwear. So like he stole a pair of her underwear and then everywhere he went, he would like set up an altar and put her underwear on it and like pray to it and be really perverted, and that was like him being a weird pervert. Um but like when it comes to other women, he's not like gone around trying to touch their boobies and stuff like that. It's kind of like Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins. You know, he's only a pervert to Elizabeth. Like that. Okay, there's a bunch of things here. Yeah. So it's like he's a pervert, but it's only for his first love, who was also his teacher, and it's only for her underwear. Because like he's not even like going over and being all pervy. He might now be kind of pervy to her. Now that he's like marrying her or whatever, but up until this point, it was just like he was just weirdly pervy to her underwear that he had stole. And that's why everyone was like, yeah. But the other thing too is like in his mind, he thinks about perverted stuff. So like when he saw the redheaded girl, because the other thing too, he's like a 30-year-old man before he reincarnated. So like when he was growing up again, he was like talking about his mother and her boobies and stuff, and everyone that was watching the anime was like, "This is weird." Still sad they killed off Escanor. Yeah, I'm I couldn't care less about that show after that fucking one season where they just turned it to dog shit. I was like, "Yep, don't like this anymore." So yeah, he in his mind, he doesn't say it out loud, but in his mind, he just said really weird, perverted things, and everyone made everyone uncomfortable because they're like, "Who's saying this stuff about a child?" and he is a child, but it's like, yeah, but he's also like a 30-year-old dude inside. So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, this romance thing that I read, and I was like, I was really into it. I thought it was really good, right? But then it went on for a long time. I think it was like over 100 chapters. I was reading it, and the guy had never met his father. Like his father was just a piece of shit who got his mother pregnant and then just bailed on her. He said that he would like help raise the baby and then just bailed on her. Because he just wanted to convince her to keep the baby. So he just told her what she wanted to hear to make her keep the baby. So she did. But then yeah, then he just vanished, right? Just disappeared like a fart in the wind. And then like years later, he's like falls in love with this girl. It's in his class. And they were talking and stuff and getting to know each other. And end up like falling in love. And it's like this long, it's like a long thing, right? It's like 80 chapters worth of like them slowly falling in love. And then finally they like admit to each other they love each other and that they're gonna start dating. They start dating. And they start like doing all the normal stuff that people do when they're dating. Uh and they like go, I think the girl comes over to his house and meets the mother and does something. Well, first off, the mother meets her and she's like, she looks a lot like my ex-husband, right? Which I think you can see where this is going. The one that ran away. Um, but then she's like, the more that she spent time with this girl, she was like, she does things the way he does it too, right? And she didn't think anything of it. And then I think he went to meet her mother, and she thought she's seen him, and she was like, he's a spitting image of the chick's father, right? Um, and the thing is that there was no family pictures or pictures in general of the father for either of them. So they both had no idea what the father looked like. But anyway, after like another 20 chapters of them dating and meeting parents and stuff like that, they end up like sleeping together, right? And after they sleep together, the chick come around to, I think they slept with each other at the chick's house, and then she came to his house for dinner or something. And when they turned up, the father had come back. For some reason. I can't remember what it was, but the father came back. And when they opened the door, the father was there with the mother. And he was like, "Who's this?" And the mother was like, "This is your father." And then the father was like, straight away, because apparently the girl, she kind of looked like him, I guess, but she looked more like her mother. So the father instantly was like, why are you with this girl?" And he was like, "This is my girlfriend," right? And that's when he was like, "Ooh, oh no," right? And that's when they sat him down. Well, he sat him down and explained to them that they're brother and sister, um, and that they can't keep dating because they're brother and sister. And then it turned out, by the way, that he has like 12 kids, and I think three of them were all the same age, which was those two and another one, and they were like 15, I think. 16. They were still in high school, so I don't know exactly what age they were. But they were his oldest, were those ones. So yeah. And that happened, and I was like, I don't know if I want to read this manga anymore. I think I've had enough of this manga. Because, like, it wasn't... Like, when you're reading it, you're like, I don't... Not even for a second, you're like, I bet these two are brother and sister. Not until you get to the point where it's like... Where both the mothers are, like, talking about how much they look like the guy and that. So you're like, ooh, okay, something's off here. But I kept reading because I was like, maybe I'm wrong. I was not wrong. I was not wrong at all. And it was very fucking weird.
Features if the producer includes a reasonable
it's still going, by the way.
Intended use, language that could be interpreted broadly by producers. So if you make more than $80,000 on a film, those AI protections don't even apply to you, not unless specified, which is counterintuitive. Why did the strike even occur to begin with? And speaking of money, you know what's really interesting? Only 14% of SAG-AFTRA performers make more than $26,470 annually.
I've already watched
Remember those wonderful benefits you get for signing up to SAG-AFTRA?
Bro, I'm old.
Yeah, they barely go to anybody, but they're there. All you gotta do.
Bro, I'm old. I was around the time when everyone was making everybody watch that, just get their reaction. I was around then. I watched it start to finish. I've seen it. You seen it? Just a couple of bros hanging out, eating some ice cream. It's fine. Pretty certain there was a number 2 after that too. I think it was a Boku no Pico 2. It came out after that. And I think it was with another boy. I think the original, the first one I think is like a blonde-haired kid, right? Short blonde hair. Bro, I'm diving into my memory vault for this, and I think the second episode, or like Boku no Pico 2, whatever you call it, I think it was a long black-haired kid that you would look at and go, oh, maybe that's a girl, but it was also a boy. Eating ice cream? Yeah, it was just a couple of bros hanging out, eating some ice cream. What'd you watch? Sicko. But yeah, I think that was the second one. Maybe that was in the same one. I don't know. I just remember there was two kids.
Is make us enough money to where you could have been able to afford that shit yourself regardless. Oh man, what a generous company.
And being health insurance, yeah, you could only qualify
minus $3K
for it if you make more than $27,540 a year. This means that over 86% of people who paid the $3,000 initiation fee and are part of SAG-AFTRA miss out on one of its most important benefits.
Guys, that literally means that 86% of SAG-AFTRA are just wasting their fucking money and they can't get out. Man,
exactly.
What a shock.
Oh, and if you do actually end up getting the healthcare coverage, well, your information is just going to leak anyway. Because on December 10th, 2024, SAG-AFTRA went through a data breach. And according to this article, personal information obtained in the breach includes names, social security numbers, and health insurance details. And the union...
Wow, for $3,000, we can leak your personal information. Man, this is great, man. It just gets better, doesn't it?
SAG-AFTRA only notified these members almost 3 months after the incident. Isn't that wonderful? You pay $3,000 to join a union,
They're on it.
Right? You're finally making money as an actor. And now someone can steal your identity, and you only are told about it 3 months later. But it's okay, because the chief of SAG-AFTRA is making over $1 million every year, guys. People weren't fooled anymore.
It's a
non-profit.
non-profit.
The more they felt the taste of disgust.
They don't make any profit.
Just as you thought that things couldn't get worse, just as you thought that this taste of disgust in your mouth couldn't get more rancid.
Hey, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what.
Gun on stream?
Guys,
I don't know,
For
maybe.
SAG-AFTRA, it cost them $3,000 to leak your SSN. Guys, I'm going to do it for free.
I'm surprised
if you
that
type
WoW
easy
won today,
clap
to
and
be
chat
honest.
right now, I will dox you to the internet for completely free, just because I am truly that humble.
Some voice actors, instead of logging off Twitter, decided to keep being dorks, making this way worse than it should have ever been. Kaylee Mills, the voice actor who had already tweeted some very interesting things, had this to say. SAG winning the strike means that their contracts will all have AI protections going forward. It doesn't make every game union. Also, I've worked on several union games with international talent. A game going union does not bar that talent from working.
Guys, I have many black friends. There's no way I'm racist. Like, what the fuck is this bitch saying, bro? Okay, dude.
Technically, no union actor should work non-union at all.
Wait, what?
But we do. All the time. It's always been that way in voice acting. It's not necessarily fine, but it still is very different from taking an existing role from someone who vacated that role, withholding work for AI protections. That's why you don't see anyone calling out any of the actors announcing their new non-union roles. It's because while as much solidarity as possible helps the cause, no one really expects everyone to be perfect allies. Well, I mean, this begs the question, right? Okay, fine. We've already talked about AI protections. We've already seen how this strike is meant to make healthcare more affordable and raise rates or whatever, but like, is Hoiverse really that bad of an employer? Are they underpaying these voice actors? Are they subjecting them to slave labor? Is this...
I mean, to be completely fair, Hoyo's rates are shit for everything they do. To be completely fair, right? I don't want to just dog on them for everything. Like, they pay like shit.
Oh, bro, I think
Chinese company exploiting our beloved voice actors and underpaying them? Is this why we really need a contract to be signed right now? No.
How much longer
According
is this?
to Kaylee, even though the game is non-union, many of us are making the union
19 minutes.
So what are we doing? Apparently not enough, because shortly afterwards, Kaylee deleted
Game
her
reminds me of Albion. I don't know what Albion is.
You know
What is
their
Albion?
said, brother, shut this shit down. Bro, somebody should have told Mr. Pokey that shit 8 months ago, bro. I ain't gonna fuck with you. Like, straight up. Somebody tell Mr. Pokey the same thing. Shut that shit down.
We've hurt this strike even more. But it's okay, because this is like a tag team wrestling match. Kaylee's out, but guess who's in now? Corinna, the voice actor.
Never even seen this.
Bro, we just replaced Roman Reigns with fucking Hornswoggle. Here we go. I wonder what's going to go wrong.
Behind Paimon decided to post an unhinged rant on TikTok, and
I could
try to explain it. Probably won't succeed, so just watch, okay?
Okay, here's the thing.
Let me translate.
I don't know why
for
it
anybody who doesn't
flashes
watch
like
wrestling. We just replaced Goku with Deku. Oh man, I wonder what's going to happen.
If voice actors, both non-union and union,
I haven't
in a video
changed it.
game
It's the
want a
same
game to go
thing.
union, the game should go union. Nobody else's opinion matters. That's it.
What?
And YouTubers don't know anything. YouTubers don't know anything.
Yeah, this
they're
idiot.
They're not voice actors. They've never been in my industry.
This is Paimon. Just so you know. This is Paimon. Calling all of yous idiots. She's calling everyone idiots because she knows more than everybody, is what she's saying. None of yous know anything. She knows everything. That's what she's saying. You're all idiots.
They don't know what my industry is about. They don't know anything about SAG. They don't know anything about being a non-union actor either. Stop telling me to go to liars. Liars. They are
Liars.
Yep.
The ones who are just reading the contracts and reading them word.
I thought she would be in like her 20s. I don't know how old this chick is. But she's unhinged. She's a fucking lunatic. This is the one, right, that shit on someone for working for Genshin while the SAG stuff was happening, while she was still working for Genshin and doing the voice for Paimon while the SAG stuff was happening. So she shit on someone else for doing what she's doing. This is her. She's a fucking idiot.
Word for word. Yeah, I know, man. Good God. I thought she...
What?
What oh, weird. Weird how that happened. I thought she said she wasn't going to talk about
Alright,
it.
yeah, she's
so
a
then why is she talking about it? I
a fucking
why that
moron.
is.
are paid to lie to you. Also, I'm sorry. They have more incentive to lie. They have more of an incentive to lie because idiots like you fall for their shit and they get paid for that.
Yo, chat.
Yeah. Idiots like you, Simon, you fall for it. Hey, do you know, by the way, I'm pretty certain this is the video that she then, like, this is posted on her main account, right? She did this video, posted it on her main account. Then everybody shit on her for it, right? And her response was, it was AI. Someone else posted it and it was AI. And then everybody believed her. Well, not everybody, but most people. People like Techie here didn't believe her. But this was AI.
Who has more incentive to lie? The people who want you to join the union because they're busy paying $4,000 to get in, or the guys who aren't getting paid shit for it? Man, I wonder who that is.
What is this?
Oh, but that's okay though, guys. Corinna Boger said that this video's AI. She said that she said that this is fake. So,
yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
It was AI.
Never mind then. By the way, boys, type 1 if you'd like Paimon to get replaced by AI.
Hello? God forbid. I
This
want
is
my
pretty good
industry to
AI.
actually, like, I don't know, function.
Maybe
and
we
then
should
everybody
invest.
Gets paid and everybody gets, like, healthcare. Did you know that, like,
This AI
once
is
things become
crazy.
union, people get paid a lot more? So people are like, oh, but, you know, then some non-union actors will have to join the union. Yeah, they'll be able to, easily, because they'll get paid more. Also...
No, they won't.
Love that lip bite. Love that lip bite.
They'll get paid
Oh,
more. No, they
man,
won't.
I love it, bro.
They'll have to pay to be in it.
Yes, dude.
How do you get paid more if you have to pay to be in it? Makes no fucking
Join
sense.
the union. It's the best thing ever. You must do it. You must. Anyone who doesn't join the union, you'll be excommunicated. Join us.
Also,
Fucking
there are
hell.
options that the union
Bro's an actual ogre, bro. Bro's an actual ogre.
has to help pay for the...
I don't think it will make a difference if it was AI or not. Both would sound the same. No. What she's saying, right? She said all this crap and called people idiots and did all this. And then people were like, how could you say that? Right? And all the like shit on her for it, right? And her response was it was AI generated. She didn't do it. Those eyes are lifeless? Yeah, you know it. So she's trying to defend herself by saying, no, she didn't call you idiots. Somebody AI generated her face and her voice calling you idiots. It's completely different. Right? It's not just her voice. She's like saying like the whole fucking thing was AI. But the dumbest part is it was posted on her main TikTok account. She recorded it and then posted it on her main TikTok account. So you also saying that you were hacked? So someone made AI video of you saying this stuff, then hacked your TikTok and posted it to your TikTok. Like, this is how dumb she is. AI advanced so fast? Yeah, you know it.
Those things, there are options to help people pay for the union dues. Within
Right.
SAG, but you don't know that.
But like I've been saying,
Oh my god, it's almost like
Paimon's
you're
the
not
reason
an
I
actor.
don't
It's
play
almost like
fucking
you're not a voice
Genshin.
actor.
I like you're an actor. You're not a voice actor. It's like you don't know how to act when you talk. Oh my god. It's like you don't
I don't know
get
what
it.
mission to do.
You don't have the talent that I have. Oh. It's
I don't
almost
want
like
to do
you're not a
anything that's
streamer. It's almost like
dungeon
you're not a
related.
streamer. You don't know how to play video games. Good God, bro. Jesus.
25, that might be too
how
much.
do you act like this? You don't look at yourself in the fucking mirror and say, wait a minute, I'm fucking retarded.
And neither are those YouTubers.
You have so much
But bottom
confidence.
line
It's
is
insane.
that both non-union actors and union actors in a video game want it to go union and have wanted it to go union.
Kind of looks like
Wanna know why
Slenderman.
Mugen is playing
Like
this
the
clip in
hybrid
Because he
one.
doesn't need to
Never
edit
seen it.
to make her look bad.
She's
She
definitely
did that
fucking
fine
nightmare
enough
fuel.
on her own. Man, good job, Corinna. You finally did something
Bro, what
right.
the fuck?
Hell
Where's the animations over
yeah.
here?
For a long time. So nobody else's opinion, that is super fucking wrong
Oh my
anyway.
God, I
Now,
hate listening to her speak.
Here it comes. Say it with me, boys. Hope this helps.
Damn, I guess I'm.
Hope this helps. Fuck off.
I guess I'm lying to you guys. You know, just don't listen to me because I'm a YouTuber. Apparently, you should listen to Corinna instead. The voice and face.
Benny,
of
what mission
reason.
should I do? This one?
Yeah.
Seriously, what was the goal here? Not only does it come off as unhinged, but it's also all over the place and says things that
This one?
don't make any sense. Genshin was never a part of the strike. People are
Weapon
striking because
choice?
they want Genshin
What
to have
is
a
that?
union contract. Why? Because it pays more. But they're already being paid the union rate. Then comes the topic of healthcare and benefits. But you know what's funny? As far as I know, and I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Corinna is FICOR, not even a full-fledged member of SAG-AFTRA. You become FICOR purely because you want to work non-union jobs without getting into trouble. For that privilege, you're exchanging every benefit that comes with being a SAG-AFTRA member, including healthcare benefits. So I'm so confused, dude. Like, I just genuinely don't understand what the point.
Hey, don't worry.
Yeah, what?
We're all confused.
Wait.
Virgin.
Of this rant was. And yet,
Wait. Out of anyone, wouldn't she be one of the ones that would want the healthcare benefits? Because doesn't she have health problems? But she doesn't have... What? That makes no fucking sense. This woman is insane.
Corinna was kind of becoming the unofficial spokesperson of voice actors regarding the SAG-AFTRA strike, which I'm sure you can understand is a disaster. The most ironic thing in all this is that Corinna makes this out to be a life or death situation, while continuing to work on Genshin Impact as the most important character for voice acting. You just can't make this up. And this just makes this whole rant even funnier. I mean, honestly, this is this even reached Chinese players, and they didn't really have a lot of nice things to say. Saying things like, please change Paimon's English voice actor, everyone will be happy. I'll even do another 6 months of battle passes if you want. I'll top up too if they do it. If
yeah, Paimon's the reason I don't play the game. I fucking hate Paimon.
It's like a desperate mouse that got pressed onto a grill by
this was before all this. I just did not like Paimon from the get-go.
God damn, these Chinese players are ruthless. Oh, and just to add more fuel to the fire, Corinna said on Blue Sky that this TikTok was
even
AI.
If they changed Paimon now, though, I still wouldn't go and play it.
Yeah, I called her out for that shit. Lying motherfucker.
Damn, AI sure got very advanced since the last time I checked. Interesting. Yeah. Corinna then posted
yeah, here we go, the toilet.
The toilet. Corinna just sat there in front of the toilet saying that...
Here you go, Simon. Look, this is your beautiful voice of Paimon. Watch them sit in front of a toilet and complain.
All this harassment was overwhelming, that vomit can come out at any second, and then complained for 8 minutes about the strike. Yeah, this is actually real. This video is not AI.
It's insane.
I think it's safe to say that if Hoyoverse find a new voice actor for Paimon, then it would kind of be justified just over this insane erratic behavior. Because when have you ever seen a voice actor crash this hard? The amount of damage that the strike had sustained in just the span of a few days was incalculable.
The thing I heard about Paimon is people want to eat it.
Of Risley decided to step up. He had already
they want to eat it, or they want to use it like a living fleshlight.
This
no one likes her.
Good.
Yeah, I fucking hate Paimon. Right? I started the game and I was like, bro, this character fucking sucks. I wish it would leave me alone. And then like shortly after you start it, you meet like the first companion or whatever, and she's like, oh, what is this? And there's an option to say emergency food. I was like, yes. And I clicked that, and Paimon got real mad. But I was like, bro, I would eat you in a heartbeat. Like, fucking go away. And then I think I Googled it after that, because I was like, when does Paimon go away? And that's when Google was like, oh, Paimon never goes away. I was like, oh, I hate this game. Fuck this game. If I have to listen to that fucking thing all the time, no thanks. I just stopped playing it. I don't know why anyone would want to fuck it. Like, the voice alone is enough to turn you off on anything. But, like, just look at it. When I look at Paimon, I'm not like, yeah, I wonder what it looks like naked. You know what I mean? I look at Paimon and go, this thing's fucking annoying. This is a good thing or a bad thing, but she might be the final boss. Paimon? I still wouldn't go back and play it. I don't want to have to deal with it for fucking 1,000 hours just to get to the point where you get to kill it. It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it at all.
Into consuming this, because a lot of things he said it didn't depend, and yeah, there was a lot of things that if you didn't have prior information, you could have been swayed on that you should not have been swayed on.
It was a very difficult give it a muzzle.
You need a lot of knowledge to watch
what?
This.
Muzzle? Oh, muzzle.
Explaining what's been going on with Hoyoverse while clearing any misinformation about
to your liking.
Saying, I do my best to inject clarity into what has become a really sad cyclone of misinformation and toxicity. RE, the SAG-AFTRA strike, Genshin Impact, the recast, like and AI. Similar to my first video on the strike, it's an attempt to educate, not aggravate.
Bro, it'd take longer than that.
Not really helping the situation as much as he was hoping. With this,
it'd take way longer than that. The only thing I've done in Genshin is I got to the point where I beat the dragon or whatever that attacks the first city. I got to that, and then I remember a cutscene with a dragon, and that was it. I didn't touch it after that. And then when I started playing it again, like a year ago, I don't think I did any missions. I think I just did. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. I think I just did random stuff to level up. But yeah, I'm like way behind on it.
It and saying, so they bullied the new Kinich voice actor for a strike that does not exist?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's look at the video real quick.
Pretty much.
So one of the first things he does is reiterate that the whole point of the strike is that SAG-AFTRA actors are not allowed to work with the struck video game companies.
What?
But as we saw earlier, Hoyoverse is not one of the
Kick
struck
just
video
kicked
game
you out.
companies.
Sucked
Then
in.
it goes on to explain what's been happening with Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse games, and yeah, you'll find out soon enough why that tweet that we just saw was made. I'll put it on 1.5 speed. Watch.
Games that started production before the strike are also not struck. It's a very confusing atmosphere, I know, but I can relieve that confusion for Genshin fans specifically by saying this. Do you know what company isn't in that select group of production companies being struck? Hoyo. I cannot emphasize enough that MiHoYo properties are not and never have been union games. Therefore, Genshin has never been a struck property. There are 0 union rules governing Genshin or any other game, period. End of story as of this date. This is not a debate. This means, and I want you to listen very carefully here, if the SAG-AFTRA strike ended tomorrow, this would mean absolutely nothing for Hoyo games and its actors. If suddenly WB and Formosa, Keywords, all the rest threw a TNT parade and said, we agree to all the actors' demands, yay! Nothing would change for Genshin or Star Rail or Triple Z or any other non-union game. So point number 1, please stop talking about Genshin like it has anything to do with the SAG-AFTRA strike. Genshin is not a union game. The actors working on it are not working under a union contract.
Yeah, there you go.
Plot twist, boys. Oh, man.
But pin in that, okay? Because we're going to come back to the idea of union and non-union actors in a minute.
So in other words, Genshin has
non-union
nothing
games.
to do with it.
So, why the hell aren't actors going in to record lines for Genshin if it's not struck
Login
when the strike
thing?
happened? Many Genshin
Well, I
actors
don't
got
know.
together in
They're
various
not
disparate
saying.
channels and decided that now would be a good time to try to engage with Hoyo and encourage them to take some action. Actors could use the momentum, the social
one
momentum
minute?
of the SAG-AFTRA strike to include Hoyo
Oh, it's all the way
in the
down there.
conversation. Again, though, it's not a strike, and it has nothing to do with the
Oh,
union.
that's
Since this is
annoying.
not a strike, I'm not going to call it a strike. From here on, I'm going to call it a collective work refusal because it's not governed by any one body like SAG-AFTRA. There is no one result desired like a collective bargaining agreement, and there is no penalty for not participating, unlike the SAG-AFTRA strike. If you're a union member and you cross the line and record games you're not supposed to, you can be penalized. In a non-union environment, that doesn't exist. So, what did Genshin actors want? This is where some of the confusion kind of begins. The goal
what do
wasn't
they
really
want?
Totally clear. Some actors wanted them to sign a union agreement and flip union, become a union game. You might have heard this called an interim agreement, which just has to do with an agreement that's going on during the strike, or a full union contract. There's some nuance of difference here. Because Genshin's an ongoing game, they're essentially the same thing. Others wanted them to just add AI protections into their non-union contract. Something like
Yeah, I'm going to keep it a buck, guys. If you're refusing to work, in what career field do you not get replaced?
Yeah, exactly.
I do not feel bad for anybody.
That's what I've been
If you are
saying.
refusing to work, sorry, buddy. Your ass is to the curb. It's really that easy.
the Nava writer, okay?
I promise you I can find somebody else to fucking talk.
Which is something that any actor can attach to any contract to legally protect themselves against AI exploitation. And some actors, understandably, didn't really know what to think about the whole thing, but they were motivated by the social side, solidarity, social obligation, community feeling, and they also refused to work. This is part of the problem of non-union games, or non-union anything, actually. Since there's no actual collective bargaining agreement governed by any union, it becomes difficult for a group of people to take a collective action. In social psychology, you call this a collective action problem. It's very complicated. So anytime a group of non-union actors tries to get together to achieve any result, it's hard. It's hard for us to communicate. It's hard for us to bargain.
Yeah, so
Since there are no
that's what I
rules,
was saying
many
earlier,
actors are
like-
free to just disregard that collective effort at any time with no penalty, unlike
They've all just gone, we're not going to work. And then MiHoYo, is that what they're called? We're just like sitting there going, why won't they work? We want to give you money. What, do you not want the money? So they're just sitting there going like, we don't understand why these people don't want to work. Because there's no one, they're non-union. So like there's no one going to MiHoYo and being like, hey, they're all not working because they want this, this, and this. There's no one doing that. They just stopped working. So it'd be just like if fucking you had a normal job and then one day you were like just stopped going into work, but then didn't tell them why you're not going into work. Your work would just be like, why the fuck is this person not coming in? It's the same thing. They're just sitting there going like, we don't understand. And then they're going on Twitter and being like, "Raw, I'm mad that they don't understand why I'm doing this." Of course they don't, you fucking idiots.
again an actual strike where you can get fined or kicked out of the union for strike breaking.
So Joe confirmed one thing
So
that we've looked at
stupid.
so far in this video. Genshin was never part of the strike. Hoyoverse games have never been
Yeah.
part of the strike. And this is literally as if you were working in a corporation. Let's say you work at Amazon. You and your coworkers decided to stop showing up to work one day. You can't even agree on why you're striking, okay? Half of you want AI protections. The other half wants more money. What do you expect? What do you think that Amazon's gonna do? It's actually a miracle that they've been able to keep their jobs for so long while not showing up to work for months. As Joe said,
Yeah.
this can't be even counted as a strike. And if anything, it sounds like a wildcat strike, something that's been prohibited under the Taft-Hartley Act. A wildcat strike is a strike action undertaken by unionized workers without union leadership's authorization, support, or approval. They're just hoping that by using the momentum of a different strike, they can somehow force Hoyoverse to sign their agreement. Do you realize how ridiculous this is? This is insane. I want to reiterate, if this was done in any other industry, you'd be fired within 24 hours, all right?
Yeah, but it's different because they got clout on the internet and people think they're the fucking video game characters, bro. It's fucking insane.
And yet they're still doing it to this day. Then Joe talks about something that many people have been asking about. Okay, but what about the Taft-Hartley? What happens to non-union voice actors if Hoyoverse were to sign the interim agreement? Here's what he had to say.
The actor does not live in a right-to-work state. Now we're getting murky. You might have heard the term Taft-Hartley thrown around. And I advise you, really, just don't look too deep into this because it's confusing. It's a piece of labor law that actually has nothing to do with SAG-AFTRA. It was written in 1947 and designed as a path to both protect people from being forced to join unions, but also offer them more flexible ways to join if they want to, for our purposes, bringing it back to us.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like someone knew how stupid fucking Paimon was and knew how much they enjoyed doing the role, so they just fed her with misinformation, and then she goes on the internet like a fucking aggressive retard and just made everybody else look worse by somebody else's design, because there's no way anybody's this stupid without being manipulated. Like, legit.
Nah,
like
some people are just that
amount of
stupid.
info that Paimon truly believes that she knows, and I don't think she's smart enough to manipulate people. I really don't. I don't want to give her that much credit. I think she actually is just like she's dumb, where she just believes somebody else lying to her, just been spewing nonsense all over the internet.
Consider a Taft-Hartley like a temporary 60-day union pass to allow someone who is non-union to work on a union job. After that, they're considered a must join, at which point, like the status implies, they must join the union or stop working union jobs. I'll break here for a second and tell you that it is significantly more complicated than that. There are caveats as to when the Taft-Hartley triggers, for example. It's also possible to negotiate an individual waiver with the union and say, look, I'm only ever going to work this one union job. Please don't make me join. I won't do anything else. And they can say yes. There's flexibility here. These, however, are edge cases that are just beyond the scope of this video. This would be a 5-hour video. In the simplest sense, you can do on a Taft-Hartley a very limited amount of union work as a non-union member before you have to join. And that sort of makes perfect sense if you think about it. The union offers actual tangible benefits, even for a single contract. Reaping those benefits without being a union member and paying your dues is like extending your Netflix free trial indefinitely. At some point, you gotta pay for what you're using. But being able to join the union for some actors can be a really good thing. Getting into the union is a stepping stone in many actors' careers, and it can actually be difficult to qualify for the union because the only way into the union is if you get Taft-Hartley first.
I'll have to go.
Simple. No.
My good sir.
Bedtime. It is important to understand and consider why an actor might not want to join the union. The entry fee itself can be steep depending on where you live. Mine was nearly $4,000 when I joined.
I'll probably be ending stream after this video.
You have to know for certain they were going to get at least 5 sessions out of Genshin.
That's a lot of money.
Because I gotta go do some stuff after stream. I was supposed to only stream for like 2 hours. But 3 now.
You do get pension and health benefits, okay? But you only qualify for health benefits
I'm probably gonna
if you
get
earn a certain
Windat.
income of union work, around $30,000 a year.
So this goes back to everything we said, of course. What was interesting, though, is that he had to pay $4,000 to join a union when SAG-AFTRA's website now says $3,000. Now, I will say that it is very refreshing watching Joe's video because while he does echo some of the same opinions as the other entitled voice actors, he presents them in a more realistic and conservative manner. But joining SAG-AFTRA specifically as a voice actor still doesn't really make a lot of sense. As a traditional actor, sure, you can make the case. But as a voice actor, 80% of your contracts are going to be non-union. Only 20% are union and will contribute to your pension. Not to mention that the odds of you making enough to even qualify for health insurance are pretty damn low. Legal representation is really nice, sure, but it does feel weird to be locked behind SAG-AFTRA membership. If a non-union voice actor got their voice stolen, SAG-AFTRA could represent them, win the case, and set a precedent for every single voice actor on United States soil. That's what unions in Europe do, right? They stand up for everyone in the industry, not just people who are members. Asking for $3,000 from people who mostly do this as a hobby just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And that's a problem. Joe goes on to talk about what we already talked about as well.
We have a thing over here. I don't know what it's called. Like, if you get sacked from your job, right? And it's not for a good reason. It's just because, like, the boss doesn't like you, or like if you get injured at work and they're like, hey, we don't want to pay you money to continue being here when you've been injured, and they just leave, they just sack you, right? They're not allowed to over here. And they can get into a lot of shit for it. But I can't remember what it's called. It has a name. I can't remember what the name is. But like that applies to everyone, right? That's not just like you have to wait, what? Oh, I don't need to kill that guy. Okay. It's not just like oh, you have to pay money to be able to acquire that benefit. Right? Whereas that's what SAG-AFTRA sounds like. Guy sounds like you have to. What the fuck are you? Losty Pawnee? Is that a special thing? Why does it look like that? Like, we don't have to pay extra money to, like, get that benefit. Just everybody has that benefit from the get-go. Work cover? I think it's called, maybe it's called work cover? I can't remember the name. It sounds like the UK has something similar. Which is like everybody is just already in it. It's like for some reason in America they're like, no, you have to pay us money for us to help you. Which is just fucking insane.
The fact that technically as a union member, working non-union contracts is not permitted. And he also talks about FICOR. He then goes on to talk about social media toxicity, how it doesn't help, and how, yes, this situation is quite complicated. We've understood that quite well.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Joe's intent.
Didn't you say it was 65K? Yeah, there's been so many different numbers thrown around. It's some people say it was 28K. Realistically, it's probably
these
more around
days.
30K. The website says it's around 25K. So the problem is I've been so confused because so many people have been throwing around fake numbers. It's hard to remember what's real and what's fake. It's fucking insane.
Tension didn't really work out as well as he had hoped because many of the comments are left in utter confusion.
Some of them are cool,
and we're also disillusioned with the voice actors that have been participating in this discourse. I mean, look at this comment here with 4.6K likes saying, so let me get this right. Union voice actors are bullying a non-union voice actor for getting work with a non-union game, which isn't being struck by the voice actor union.
Itself knows what real and what's
project
fake.
That union voice actors shouldn't even be working on.
Isn't it great?
So it's okay for union workers to steal non-union voice actors' work, but if a
because in the same vein, SAG-AFTRA's website says it's 3,000.
I don't keep up to date with her,
and then
but
Joe says,
I don't think she's going on Twitter shitting on
so
people.
there's just so much fake fucking numbers and so much fake information flying around. It's fucking ridiculous.
Non-union voice actor takes the role of a union voice actor who shouldn't even be striking.
Why is he invisible?
There's hell to pay. This is ridiculous. And this comment says, in their quest to not be replaced by AI, they seem to have completely forgotten that actual people can still replace them. This strike, as well as many of the Genshin voice actors that participated in this discourse on Twitter, were now seen as a complete and utter joke. Kiva Walker, who had already participated in this discourse, said, is it just me or was that video, the video we just watched, not helpful to the situation and now people hate us more?
Yeah, doesn't it suck when somebody tells the truth? Doesn't it suck when somebody tells the truth?
The unintended consequence of this video stretched far and wide, with some people calling for every striking voice actor on Genshin Impact to get replaced immediately. People didn't care anymore. Yes, the video was 29 minutes long, but they could only focus on the part that said Genshin and Hoyoverse were never part of the strike to begin with. The voice actors who went completely unhinged on Twitter had lost all good faith. As this entire catastrophe was fully unfolding, Corinna decided to post a picture with some very well-known Hoyoverse voice actors, one of them being the voice actor of the main male character in Genshin Impact. This was after the unhinged rant and the sitting in front of a toilet complaining about vomiting rant.
Male.
Yeah, I actually had a buddy. Ooh, will this dox them? Nah, that'll dox them. Anyways, I've heard this group of friends really doesn't like me. Really doesn't like me.
Look, this might have just been an innocent picture, but you have to understand, many of these voice actors had not really expressed anything on Twitter during this crisis, but they were still caught in the crossfire because being in a picture with Corinna after the insane unhinged rants meant that you approved of this behavior and meant that you thought the same way. Corinna is now essentially a walking plague. Any other voice actor that is seen in the same picture is probably going to get hated too. It's just not a good thing to associate with someone like that right now. Look, overall, you made it to the end. Congratulations. Overall,
it is.
This whole strike, as well as the fundamental need for SAG-AFTRA as a union, is now being questioned. It's pretty insane to witness a strike that has been going on for 8 months get hurt so much from a public relations standpoint in just the span of a week because of some entitled voice actors. SAG-AFTRA is a joke of a union, especially for voice actors, and they deserve better. And while you may be disillusioned with all English dub voice actors right now, I do want to point out that, look, most of them are actually very good people. I had the pleasure of speaking with one in particular, and he was one of the nicest people I had ever met. It just goes to show what a few bad apples can do to the reputation of an entire profession. It's something that will take a long time to recover. It's such a shame. In the end, though, many people are asking themselves, is Hoyoverse actually going to sign this agreement? After this, probably never. People are fully on their side now. Before, if they had...
that game's cooked, brother. You better enjoy light novels, because y'all motherfuckers better be reading. And for the one voice you do get to hear, man, I sure hope you like Corinna Boutger. Isn't that great, man? Because she loves y'all. doesn't she?
They had recasted some voice actors, they would have probably faced backlash. Now, people
Yeah,
are
she
calling
loves
for the
idiots.
complete
What are you talking
deletion
about?
of English dub in general. If they replaced Corinna as well as any other entitled voice actor on Twitter, hell, even the one striking and that said nothing about this, then the backlash would be minimal. And that's just the impact of this entire controversy. I do hope that voice actors and performers of all kinds actually do get AI protections, because it's actually a problem. But this is not the way to do it, especially when you're striking on something that isn't part of the struck companies to begin with. Thank you so much for watching until the end.
Why
I
is this so many
really
invisible
appreciate it. This
people?
video took a long time to make, so I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. Love you so much. Mwah.
Gets up.
Yeah, that was great.
Correct.
But I'm fucking exhausted. Anyways, TLDR, Tectone was right again about everything he ever fucking said, to the surprise of no one. Anyways, W Genizad, W Mugen, W Techie, W Smag, W Saint, W Pokey, L voice actors, L Corinna. Yeah, L. Hey, man, y'all would have been great. Y'all could have had me on your side. I could have helped y'all out like I did a year and a half ago. But, hey, not anymore, because you said anybody who talks to me is going to get blacklisted. So, shit, I guess not. And by the way, there's so many of y'all's homies who are DMing me about y'all saying that nobody likes having to work with y'all ungrateful motherfuckers. So, just know, boys, y'all a bunch of fucking rats. Anyways, see y'all in the next one. Peace, boys.
He's so mad. That's funny. What the fuck am I looking at? What is this? Oh, Bakugan. I forgot about Bakugan. Bakugan. The fuck is Lily Jean? Is this Bethesda actually did it? The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered? Does that come out? Oh, Bible study. Oh, she's live. Oh, she's not live. Never mind.
Voice actors.
I thought she was live. Makes me sad. You have problems? What do you mean? Sometimes you need a little Jesus. How many returns? What? What does it mean? I'm kind of curious, but at the same time I'm not. Who's this? 2D women? Never!
These guys have the same issues I do. They're doing Reddit reactions.
Bro, this woman
they too are going
sounds sexy
for like 10 minutes at a time. So
ooh, that doesn't help my case, does it? That didn't help my case at all. Yourself a 40 woman? Nah, I don't want them. Too much trouble. What do we want to watch now? I have to make it quick though, while I quickly do this mission. Memes? Memes? What the fuck? The fuck is this? Do I want this one? Sort of foreshadowing? Kinda do the same thing all the time. What is this? What the fuck? Did someone set off fireworks? What the actual fuck? What the fuck? Bro, people are insane. There's a cat. Is that a watermelon?
They're all going along with fish. Fish.
What? The fuck? Why is he able? What the fuck? Why was he able to just like grab the fish? Okay, I wonder if I can I just get up in here? Who are you? You're not who I want. Let me up. No! Leave me alone. God damn it. Fuck your thing. What? Bro, what the fuck? I look back and there's a dude with... Can you stop summoning this fucking thing? Fuck off. What the fuck? Bro, I keep looking back. It's crazy shit happens. Bro, stop. You fucking totems. What the? Why do you walk like that?
Easy pig.
What?
God damn. God.
Get wrecked. Fuck your fence.
Doing the things that I never would know. Treat me like what these.
What?
Don't get me dirty.
Wait, why did you pick the TV up? Bro, what the fuck?
Boah, Digga, ich sag dir, Bulgarien ist hier entkommen wieder, ne?
Yeah, exactly what he said.
Big world! Big world! Big world! Big world!
Bead World? What?
Oh, he's reading it! He's reading the note!
Okay. Bro, Michael's a fucking insane.
I'm trying to cry in the car.
Oh no. Oh shit. Oh god, no. Lucy, save yourself. Don't let it happen. Lucy, move. Lucy.
That cat don't give two shits, bro. What the fuck? What? Okay. I looked back and a car was on fire and then motherfucker just threw a chair at it.
Whoa.
Okay. Or she was easily impressed.
It's midnight again. Watch this.
What? What is happening?
No. Okay.
Oh, fair enough. What the fuck? Is that stupid coffee or like tea, whatever it is?
Right, I'm proper mad I am because I made a fucking pizza for myself and then I left it in there for ages and now I fucking burnt the pizza.
What in the actual fuck, bro? That's not like a pizza. It's fucking charcoal. Bubble tea is decent. Never had it. Make it yourself. Yeah, I never had it. What? Can you?
It's my 15th year at the middle school, and I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, I've never had it. What the fuck? Did you just... How does that happen? How do you just manage to fall off of a chair while just sitting in it? Yeah, I'm not a huge tea drinker. Maybe that's why. I like some tea, but like... Not a big tea guy. So I'm not even sure if I'd like watermelon.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'd even like it. What? I'm a big tea guy. You gonna tell Mr. T? Fuck Mr. T. He's friends with Hulk Hogan. Fuck him. Wait. How is Mr. T friends with Hulk Hogan? When Hulk Hogan's like super racist. How does that work? I guess he like wasn't racist in public, right?
He's like a little kid.
What the fuck? Okay. Cat wanted a selfie. That was great. What? Oh, motherfucker, that would have hurt. Wait, are you throwing knives? Wait. What just happened? Was he? Oh, fuck, that would have hurt. Bro, I wouldn't trust... What? I wouldn't trust anyone to throw knives at me. What the... That was death? No, well, he had a 10. It's all good. Bro, that would drive me insane if I had a fucking tap that did that.
Hey.
You said hey? Without the 10? Yeah, without the 10 he would have fucking died, but you're a fucking idiot. Bro, his little feetsies look hilarious. Blades point hit the pot. Yeah, he would have been fucked. Bro, I wouldn't even do it with the fucking... with the pots. That dude's insane.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn. Good shit on. Why are her eyelashes so fucking long? What? What?
Would you rather have this $25,000 or what's in this $100,000 mystery box?
25,000. Nah, fuck that. 25,000. The size of that box, I bet you any money, it was a fucking car, and then he has to pay taxes and shit on that. Nah, 25,000. Give it to me. What the fuck? Okay. That was great.
You gotta break it. It's already bending.
Oh, bro, that does not sound right. What? What's happening? Wait, why am I being attacked? What's happening? Leave me alone. What? Bunch of a-holes. Wasn't paying attention. Think about it. So it wasn't going to be money. It was going to be a fucking car or something. There's no way he'd be like, here's $25,000 worth of money, and here's $100,000 worth of money. There's no way. He would have. It would have been a car or something stupid. Something you would have had to pay tax on. And a lot of tax too. Ooh, that would be it. Ooh, smooth criminal. Ah, he's hurt. Yep, he's hurt. Oh, they both tried to do the exact same fucking thing. Oh, that was great. You can at least fit like 25 to 35 slaves. Yeah, but do you reckon
on the internet, my kids are 7, 5, and 1. They're not allowed.
75 and 1? What? How is these kids 75? What? That didn't make any fucking sense. What are you talking about? Do you think, like, if slavery was still a thing, right, and you were able to buy slaves, do you think you would have to pay tax on that? Like, do you think you'd be taxed? I feel like you probably would be, right? Because they get taxed for everything. Slavery is still a thing. Yeah, but I mean, like, legal slavery, right?
We don't have the TV on in our house. My kids don't watch TV.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah, like legal slavery, right? If they made it like legal. Do you think they'd find a way to tax it? Oh, what the fuck? Ew. Ew, I don't like it. Ew, no. What is happening?
Oh my gosh, I'm about to bust.
God damn, boy.
Oh, bro, that just like fell off the bone.
Hey, you think I can
Did
get
he
my
say
receipt, bro?
spit on it? Did he just say? Did he just say spit on it? So like working 9 to 5. No, I mean like if you like literally just own slaves, right? No, like what it used to be, like you just house and feed them and that's it. But like, do you think if you, how would they tax it? Would they tax it per person, or would they like tax it per hour for the work that they did? How would the tax work on that? What the fuck is that? Oh, I thought he had like a pet, and it was like a. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, did he say spit on it?
God damn, boy.
Spit on it.
Bro.
Yep.
Hey, you think I can get my receipt, bro?
Yeah, I got you, bro. There you go.
Hey, thanks, bro.
What the fuck? What?
Yo, I
Wait,
just
what?
joked the band director. I got a brand new saxophone.
What the fuck? What is this? Is that Minecraft? What?
Hold on, what if I dunk it?
I don't know what this is. I would take that. Bro, what is this? I look away and I look back and something insane is happening. Every time I look back, something insane is happening. What the? How the fuck does that happen?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
How does your bow just fall apart like that? We're more than halfway to 27. We didn't do too bad today. What? Hold on. Wait. There's no way that's real, right? Oh shit, what? We're taxed. As property in some states, particularly in what? Antebellum South? What the fuck is that? Meant that enslaved individuals who were considered personal property were subject to taxation. Ah, interesting. Oh, like livestock. That makes sense. Yep. Also known as slave tax, was a major source of revenue for... Ah, is that why some people didn't want to get rid of it? In the government? Because it was like a huge source of tax? That makes sense. Like, there's no way this is real, right? That's gotta be fake.
Fire in the hole!
Surrounded by knowledge, no one to share it with.
What? Yo!
It's the captain speaking, man. I'm high as hell. I'm finna crash this bed.
I know that's not what I think it is.
Hey now, dope's about.
I need four ply when I cry.
What is happening?
Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem.
Is there a frog on a turtle?
Break him, John.
Dang, that looks good.
Hold on now. Yeah.
Oh shit, what is that?
Turkey sandwich.
I feel like I'm losing brain cells.
As long as it's not like blue or pink, bro.
That was great. What the fuck? Wait, what is that? Why do you have a hole in the floor?
What the hell? What is he doing?
Oh, he's gonna do blackface. Oh god, that was kind of funny. Wait, what the fuck? Motherfucker just chokeslammed that dude. Motherfucker just teleported. Is that a monkey? What? Did I miss something? Oh, the noise. I was gonna say, what?
And how long has this been going on?
Okay. Oh, yeah, bro, yeah. Yeah, his fucking chair took off. So great. Huh? What is that? Oh, dough. I guess that makes sense. I don't know what's going on. Does that cat have a brainworm? What the fuck? Mr. Beast Russian. Oh, bro. That's great. I don't know what's happening. I'm confused.
Damn, this is cool. I got one treadmill. All right. This one seems a little fast. Oh yeah, this one's harder to keep up with. Okay, this one's off. What about this one?
What the fuck?
Help! Help! I can't feel my legs!
Is he just gonna look straight up? What? What the fuck? Bro, how'd he know? He's a wizard.
Do you have a little kitty? Is he very, very pretty? Does he scratch up all his toys? Does he make a lot?
I hope he throws up. Oh, that would have been funny if he threw up. Bro, why would you put that in the freezer? You're an idiot. What a moron. I don't get it.
Chicken? Chicken?
What?
They want me to fight the chicken? Chicken?
Is the Minecraft movie good?
Chicken jockey!
What the fuck?
Yummers. Shake Shack. Oh, you want to go grab a PS? Yummers, yummers, yummers. Yeah. Yummers. Yeah, yummers.
I don't get it.
Yummers.
Am I not dumb enough to understand why this is funny?
Yummers. Yummers.
Yummers.
Hmm? Hey man, you don't need 30,000 calories a day. Yummers. 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 Nothing. Nothing. Yummers. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Yummers.
A brain rot meme? Is it brain rot? Another good one? Good memes? Well, it just says memes that will leave a mark. Are they trying to make me stupider? That cat just licked out of the cat's butthole. Chicken Juggy. The teacher. I don't understand this. I don't understand this at all. I get it. It hurts my brain. Hurts my brain. Tried it. Wait, so the Oblivion remaster is out? When? I've never played Oblivion. I don't get it. Subtle foreshadowing memes. Maybe I should we find a channel that's good? Has my sense of humor? Where we want memes? Bro, I can't believe WoW won like 100% of the votes, 6 votes. It was crazy. When I woke up, I was like, I thought it would be like a 50-50 between Dark Souls and The Walking Dead. Then when I looked at it, I was like, what? Okay, people want WoW. Shocked the shit out of me. I'm gonna play Dragon Age Origins tomorrow, I think. I think that's what I feel like playing. Play some more of that. By the way, Benny, I was a huge snitch in the last stream, and I went out of my way to snitch on that guy. The annoying guy. And his girlfriend. I snitched on him. I snitched on him big time. Question mark? Oh, I chose mage and elf. I think it was elf, right? I chose mage and elf, and it sent me to the mage academy. Air quotes. I don't know what it was. Like the mage school? School for mages? Hogwarts? It sent me to Hogwarts, right? And there was a guy who I think is your friend. But I'm not sure. I think he's supposed to be your friend. But he was just annoying. I didn't like him. And then he wanted you to get his, was it phylactate? Is that what they're called? His phylactate, so that he could run away with the sword lady. I forgot what the order's called. I completely forgot what they were called. The temple knight people. Temple sword people. I don't remember what they're called. Anyway, he wanted to run away with her. I think her name was Lily. I think. I don't remember what the guy's name was. But he helped him. Well, he told me about it, and I was like, "No, I'm not helping you." And then I went straight to the teacher to snitch on him. And they snitched on him, and then the teacher was like, "Hey, help me trap them both, so they both get in trouble." I was like, "Okay." Then I helped him, and then I found a cool staff in the phylactate room, and they were like, "Hey, did you take anything out of that room?" I was like, "No." And then the teacher was like, "I remember putting that staff in there years ago." And I was like, "Shit." They took my staff. And they realized I lied. But yeah, we snitched on him, and then he ended up being a blood mage and getting away. Which is just sad, because I want to be a blood mage. That's why I chose mage. Because I want to be a blood mage. Because I'm pretty certain it's in Dragon Age 2, it's the elf girl. I can't remember what her name is. But she has a branch where she can become a blood mage. And it was really cool and fun to use. That's why I chose mage. Characters. I want the characters, because I need to know what her name is. Because I don't remember what her name is. Elf girl. What's the elf girl's name? Not Fenris. Fenris is the guy. Maybe if I just write elf girl Meryl? Meryl. That's a name. Meryl. Meryl. Yeah, Meryl. I think it's blood magic, right? It's like a different type of magic that you can do with her. I think it's blood magic. And it's really fun. That's why I chose mage. But yeah, that's what we did. And then we went off with the guy. The guy from the start of the game. In the cutscene. Guardian guy? I don't remember what he's called. We went off with him. That's where I left it. We'll do that tomorrow. Play some more of that. Oh. Oh, bro, I can't stop yawning. Can I even get bubble tea over here? I don't even know. I might look into it. I might give it a try. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's stream, leave a like. If you would like to see more, subscribe. But till next time, over.